I don't want to become a god, I just want to be with you, to see the beauty of the times, to see the worldly wisdom in the world. I used to think that accidents were always calculated by others, but fortunately, you have always been standing by my side. Chapter 1. No More Troubles. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. 10,000 years ago, during the Jiangnan period, the order in the mainland was disrupted, and the 6 realms exchanged, causing the boundaries between the 6 realms to lose their effectiveness. Therefore, the 6 paths are in chaos, and all living beings are facing unprecedented calamity. Human beings are born weak and lack the maintenance of spiritual power or special abilities to protect them, often subjected to oppression from all walks of life. The emperor could not bear the humiliation of the human race, so he went alone to the rumored creation's secret realm to find a solution. 5 years later, the emperor returned from his lost realm with a strange spell, only to have an additional woman claiming to be from a foreign tribe by his side. When the emperor returned to the human world, some of the creatures in the secret realm also came to the human realm, which people called eerie spirits. The emperor used the secret techniques in the secret realm to refine a powerful army known as the Spirit Army, which quickly defeated the invaders. At a time when he was supposed to achieve a complete victory, the emperor chose to let all sectors have their own way of life and signed a treaty of non-aggression for 10,000 years. After the end of the war, a new boundary was established, and all sectors were not allowed to cross the boundary without authorization. If anyone privately surpasses, the heavenly way will punish them. After the complete end of the 6 realms rebellion, the human realm also rapidly developed. Just as the human world began to enter the right track, the emperor, who should have been admired by the world, disappeared without a trace. Only one letter was left, which stated, "To appoint the younger brother of the emperor as the new emperor." After multiple unsuccessful attempts, the human world followed the contents of the letter and established a new emperor. I tell you, you can't step out of your room for half a month. You man pushed Yu Qinglan into the room. Yu Ying, keep an eye on your young lady. If she escapes from here again, I'll punish you both together. Yu Qinglan slammed the door and shouted loudly, "Dad, you let me out. I still have important things to do." "Dad." Yu Qinglan only heard a loud door closing sound. Oh my goodness, even the yard door was locked for her. "Let you go out and dream about it." "Dad, I know I was wrong. You let me go." Yu Qinglan has always enjoyed the war to the end. I remember you said the same last time. Yu Mansu's face was turning black into coal. Although they don't have the custom of women staying in the backyard of the boudoir, they can't resist her constantly going out and causing trouble, even if it means losing hundreds of taels of silver at once. This time was an accident, I promise there won't be another time. She said this not 100 times, but also 90.9 times. Keep an eye on Miss, if she runs out again, I'll just ask you. Yes, sir. Yu Qinglan gradually gave up her struggle as she listened to the footsteps getting farther and farther away. Yu Ying stood beside Yu Qinglan and helplessly said, "Miss, what did you do this time? The master is so angry." Yu Qinglan scratched her head and said with a guilty conscience, "I didn't do anything. She just smashed a store. A shop, how could the master be so angry? Really, miss, you probably didn't lie to me. How could it be? Look at my eyes full of sincerity." Yu Ying looked at Yu Qinglan in the mirror and said frankly, "Miss, I think there's cunning in your eyes." Yu Qinglan. Does this child not know what is meant by only meaning but not expressing it in words? "Miss, you wouldn't want me to pretend to be you again, would you?" Yu Ying felt scared when she remembered last time. At that time, she hid under the blanket and didn't dare to say a word, afraid that if she didn't pay attention, she would miss the filling. At that time, she and her sincere young lady would have to eat and walk around. How could that be? How could I be willing for you to take this risk? Miss, you finally figured it out this time. You're not going to cause trouble anymore. Yu Ying then thought to herself, what kind of person would her young lady be? No, miss, are you thinking of some bad trick again? She came to Jiangnan's side at the age of 10, naturally knowing her personality. Can't you think positively of me? It seems that miss, you have really changed your personality, Ying said with satisfaction. Jiangnan looked out the window at the scenery, becoming more and more mesmerized. How could she escape? Ying saw Jiangnan staring out of her mind and walked behind her. Miss, don't keep thinking about going out. Being at home is actually quite good. You don't have to worry about food or clothing. Besides, isn't the lesson from last time enough? Last time, was it that time? It was the time of copying books, or the time of kneeling at the ancestral temple. Jiangnan only remembered these 2 times. Jiangnan knew that it was not so easy to persuade Ying. Ying, go get me a book. Jiangnan lay on the soft couch, feeling bored and tight. Ying casually found a book and handed it to Jiangnan. Jiangnan only glanced at it and put it aside. Whoever likes to read this book, she doesn't read it anyway. Miss, is there anything wrong with this book? Ying couldn't understand. No problem, I just don't like watching it. Who would have nothing to do with reading the women's admonitions? Ying, what I asked you to find is a storybook. Why did you give me the female admonition? Ying is also very helpless. Her room with Miss was just searched by Madam, how could there be a script? How about you go help me buy some notebooks? Miss, I was caught by my wife a few days ago. I was caught again. Even if the book was confiscated, she was punished by her wife to copy the women's warning 100 times. It's okay, I'll hold it for you, Jiangnan said, holding on to Ying's hand. I'm not even planning to go out. You don't want me to be bored enough to count flowers and grass. Besides. Under the persuasion of Jiangnan, Ying finally agreed to help her buy books. Miss, it's the last time. After Ying left, Jiangnan sat quietly in the room alone, as if she could hear the sound of petals falling. Sister, are you inside? A young girl's voice shattered the momentary calm inside the room. She opened the window and found her sister Jiangnan standing under it. What are you doing here? Jiangnan actually didn't have much liking for this sister, but rather had some disgust. Jiangnan looked at Jiangnan with a smile and said, I came to let my sister leave. Didn't you always like the outside world? Leaving, why do I have to leave? Jiangnan naturally knew what Jiangnan was thinking. It was just that after she ran away, she had the opportunity to go to her parents and write articles again. After all, she had been a bit flustered lately. Sister has always wanted to go out and play, hasn't she? Jiangnan continued to ask. It seems that you are very lively here, isn't it? A man's voice rang out between them. Little sister, have you finished your homework? The man looked at Jiangnan. Cousin, why are you here? Jiangnan asked. I'm passing by here for business, and by the way, I'll come and see my uncle and aunt. If you hear any sound here, come and take a look. Come and see my uncle and aunt. They're obviously here to pick a problem with me, right? Jiangnan thought to herself, but she smashed his shop. But she really guessed wrong. Gong Nanjin really didn't come to cause trouble. Have you finished your homework, little sister? You have the leisure to care about your punished sister, Gong Nanjin said, looking at Jiangnan's face full of reluctance to leave. Upon hearing this, Jiangnan had to leave if she didn't want to, otherwise if it were to reach her father, she wouldn't be able to explain. Her close maid saw blood seeping from her hand hitting the tree, so she quickly took a piece of cloth and wrapped it around her. Yue, why do you think everyone is turning towards Jiangnan? Is it because she is the legitimate daughter? Yue dared not answer, after all, that is a fact. You say, why? Just because she's the legitimate daughter, I have to let her do everything, right? Chapter 2. Get out and go to Jiangnan. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Yu Qinglan sat by the window, looking at Gong Nanjin and asked, "What are you doing here when you're free?" Gong Nanjin walked up to a tree and leaned against it, saying with a smile, "Of course I came to see what kind of person smashed my store." Yu Qinglan said speechlessly, "Who let your shop assistant bully you first?" She couldn't stand it anymore. Would it be better to act with justice? My shop assistant was the one who bullied people first. It's clear that that group of people came first to start the trouble, okay? Who sells tea for 10 taels of silver per pot? Yu Qinglan has been living here for so long, and the most expensive tea is only 5 won per pot. When Gong Nanjin opened his shop, it was 10 taels of silver per pot. 10 taels of silver per household, Qinglan. Do you know what those people do? Yu Qinglan's inexperienced life is indeed easy to fall for. They are just ordinary passers-by. What else can they do? Ordinary passers-by, who would carry swords. Gong Nanjin wanted to verify the origins of these people through tea, but was unexpectedly disrupted by Yu Qinglan. In case, they're just practicing martial arts. Forget it, I can't explain it to you clearly now. You will understand in the future. You came to my house just to argue with me about this, right? The Gong family is still a bit far away from the Yu family, and Gong Nanjin couldn't have come all the way here to talk to her about a store. I came hoping you could do me a favor, Gong Nanjin said solemnly, putting away the fan. Your Gong family has a big business, and there are things you can't do. My family in Xuanyang can indeed be considered wealthy and powerful, but there are some things that cannot be solved by power. Moreover, the power of the Yu family is not under them. Tell me what's going on, and see if I can help you. Yu Qinglan accidentally smashed his shop, feeling a bit guilty. I want you to come with me to Luhai City. Why are you going to Luhai City? Xuanzhou is at least half a year away from Luhai City, and she has never been so far before. Of course there's something to do. Otherwise, who would have gone so far? I may be powerless. You know, I've been banned by my father. Not to mention going to Luhai City, I'm afraid I can't even leave Xuanzhou, said Yu Qinglan with a hint of helplessness. You don't have to worry about this, as long as you agree, I will naturally go and explain it to my uncle. What if my dad doesn't agree? She really didn't want to go to such a cloudy place in her heart. One reason is that Luhai City is too far away, and the other reason is that she still has something to do in Xuanzhou. If she leaves, no one will take over Xuanzhou's affairs, which will inevitably be invalidated. Don't worry, as long as you agree, I will definitely find a way to get my uncle to agree. Well, let me discuss it with my parents first. She knew her parents wouldn't let her go so far. Okay, I'll go discuss something with my uncle first. You can think about it first. Gong Nanjin naturally knew that Yu Qinglan was unwilling in her heart, and she needed to consider more than her parents. While Yu Qinglan was thinking about things, she heard people outside greeting Yu Mansu. Master, why did you come? Didn't the master just leave? The door opened. I have something to tell Lana. Upon hearing the master's command, they opened the door without hesitation, even though it had just been locked. Lana, don't you want to go out? Yu Mansu looked at Yu Qinglan and said calmly. Aren't you not letting me go out? Yu Qinglan wondered. Even if she changed her mind, she didn't need to do it so quickly. Now, there's something you need to do. Maybe you need to go a bit further away. Yu Mansu took a sip of tea and continued, this matter may be related to the rise and fall of my Yu clan, so I hope you can go out for our clan. Yu Qinglan thought to herself that it couldn't be the same thing Gong Nanjin said, could it? What is it that can make both Yu Mansion and Gong Mansion so concerned? Will it be related to that matter? If so, can she go back to that place? Did you hear what I said clearly? Yu Man looked back at Yu Qinglan's restless expression and asked. Yu Man saw that she had not yet reacted, so she called her name several times from the side. Yu Qinglan was lost in thought when she suddenly heard Yu Mansu calling her. "Dad, what were you saying just now? Can you say it again? I didn't hear you clearly." Yu Qinglan was a little cautious. After all, she was not listening attentively just now, but thinking about something else. "Take your time to think for yourself. If you really can't think of it, you can ask the wind in your yard." The wind asked, and Yu Qinglan muttered in her heart. After leaving this sentence at full moon, I walked out of the yard and scattered the guards inside. "I have something else to ask." "Dad, don't leave." Unfortunately, Yu Mansu was not prepared to listen to what Yu Qinglan said again. When Gong Nanjin arrived, Yu Mansu happened to be looking for Yu Qinglan, so he had to wait in the lobby. "Have you been here for a long time, haven't you?" As soon as Yu Mansu arrived at the door, she heard the servant say that Gong Nanjin was waiting for him here. "Not long ago, I just arrived," Gong Nanjin replied. "By the way, uncle, I brought something for you and aunt. You have a plan, she is not in the mansion now. I will hand it over to her later." Has uncle ever heard of the Spirit Clan? Gong Nanjin came to the Yu family with the greatest purpose of this Spirit Clan. The Moon family has studied these things no less than they do, so he wants to ask. "Lingzhu, I have seen it in ancient books before. Why did you suddenly ask about Lingzhu?" Yu Mansu remembers that Lingzhu has never appeared in reality. "Uncle, a few days ago, I went to the capital to do business. When I returned to Xuanzhou, I ran into an old Taoist on the way. He told me that the Spirit Clan was about to emerge, and there would be a huge catastrophe between heaven and earth. However, when I returned home, I searched the interior of the library and found no records of the Spirit Clan in all the books. What happened later? Later, I met him again in Xuanzhou. He said that there was only one way to avoid this catastrophe. That was to go to Luhai City to find something called Su Shi. It's just hearsay, why bother your virtuous nephew? I just don't believe it, that's why I came to ask my uncle about the Spirit Clan. There are indeed spirit tribes in this world, but their appearance is not to destroy the world, but to protect it, said Moon Mansu. I'm not really sure about the origin of the Spirit Clan, I just saw it in my father's memoirs. He remembers that his father only told him about the Spirit Clan, which is that it is not the root of trouble, but because the Spirit Clan only comes out to save people when there is trouble, people will think that the Spirit Clan will bring trouble. In fact, trouble has nothing to do with the Spirit Clan. Ewing carefully hid the book in her pocket, fearing that someone might accidentally discover it again. After hiding it, she quickly ran towards Yu Qinglan's room, but unexpectedly, a person suddenly appeared on the road and Ewing was knocked to the ground. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." After apologizing, Ewing quickly picked up the scattered books on the ground. The person who was hit saw the books scattered on the ground and also squatted down to pick them up with her. When the man saw the title of the book, he awkwardly stopped for a moment. Ewing suddenly realized the content of the book and quickly snatched it over. "Yueying, why are you?" The man exclaimed in surprise after seeing Yueying's face clearly. "Master Biao, why are you here?" Ewing said. "Gong Nanjin is the eldest young master of the Gong family and shouldn't have appeared here. I passed by on a business trip and came over to see your young lady." Gong Nanjin looked at the book in Yu Ying's arms and said, "What's going on with these books? I saw these books in the market and found them interesting, so I wanted to buy some to come back and have a look." Although Ewing bought them for Yu Qinglan, she couldn't betray Miss, so she could only say she bought them herself. Gong Nanjin still had some understanding of Yu Qinglan, so he tentatively asked, "Shouldn't these books be the ones your young lady asked you to buy?" "How could it be? These books are all what I want to buy myself and have nothing to do with my young lady," Ewing immediately denied. Upon hearing this, Gong Nanjin already had an answer in her heart, but she didn't want to make it public. "Okay, then you should keep it hidden. It won't work if my aunt finds out." "Okay, Master Biao, I understand." Ying thought Gong Nanjing would leave after asking these questions, but she didn't expect him to continue following her. She had to take the books back to her residence first in order to prevent Gong Nanjing from discovering that they were bought for Yuqinglan. Gong Nanjing stopped by because he wanted to meet Yuqinglan. Seeing Ying was not in the direction of Yuqinglan, so they naturally separated. Gong Nanjing came to Yuqinglan's room and knocked on the door, saying, "Qinglan, may I come in?" Ying put the book back in her room and wanted to rush over to tell Yuqinglan about Gong Nanjing, but as soon as she arrived at the door, she saw Gong Nanjing. "Master Biao, my young lady may have gone out. Why don't you wait a moment for me to retrieve her?" She couldn't keep Gong Nanjing knocking on the door, so she casually said. "Isn't she locked up in the yard by her uncle? How can she still go out?" Gong Nanjing asked. "Didn't the master just remove the guards in the yard?" Ying replied. "She just came all the way and didn't see any guards." In a small alley in Xuanzhou, Yuqinglan handed a note to the person across from him. "Please give me the information on the note tomorrow morning. Also, please inform Sun Miao to come and see me tonight." After the crowd dispersed, Yuqinglan slowly returned to the Yu mansion. As soon as she entered, she was pulled aside by Ying and said, "Miss, did you offend the young master?" "No, why did I provoke him?" Yuqinglan automatically forgot about smashing someone else's shop. "Why does he insist on seeing you all the time?" Ying advised for a long time, but he insisted on waiting for Yuqinglan to come back, saying there was something important. Ying can only let him wait in the yard. "Are you saying that Gong Nanjing is in my yard?" "Yes, miss." Yuqinglan pondered for a moment and said, "I understand. You can go down first. Aren't you going home? Why are you still here?" Yuqinglan remembered that the Gong family, no matter how fast they were from here, still had an hour's journey. It's okay to go back later. By the way, how have you considered what I told you?" Gong Nanjing stayed just to wait for an answer from Yuqinglan. "I may not be able to go," my dad said. "He has something to do for me." "Did your uncle tell you where to go?" "I don't know, my father didn't tell me specifically. But it shouldn't be Luhai City." Yuqinglan believed that her father wouldn't let her go so far. "Well, then I can wait until you finish that task before going to Luhai City. I may be a bit slow, you can't wait." Yuqinglan really didn't want to go so far with an unfamiliar person. Gong Nanjing has always insisted that Yuqinglan go because he heard that Yuqinglan was born with abundant spiritual energy around her, so she should have some connection with the spiritual clan. "You came to my house not just to persuade me to go to Luhai City with you, right?" Gong Nanjing has been saying the most since coming to Luhai City that she wants to go with her. "Of course not, I came to find my uncle to learn more about the spirit clan." Lingzhu. Yuqinglan heard this word for the first time in this world. "I've never heard of this word before. Didn't my uncle tell you?" "No, my father has never told me these things." Mansu really wouldn't say these things, and even wouldn't let her read some books about spiritual power. "You didn't want me to go to Luhai City with you because of the spirit clan, did you?" Yuqinglan asked. Yuqinglan did not believe these things before, but after arriving here, she had to believe them even if she didn't believe them. "It's not entirely true," Gong Nanjing said honestly. He doesn't need to deceive Yuqinglan now. "I won't go to Luhai City now. As for the matter of the spirit clan, I will investigate." Yuqinglan also wants to know various secrets of this world. As for Luhai City, she doesn't want to go yet. "Since you've said that, I won't force it anymore." Although Gong Nanjing really wants Yuqinglan to go to Luhai City with him, he can't force Yuqinglan to go with him. Ying saw Gong Nanjing leave and walked up to Yuqinglan. "Miss, what did the young master tell you? It's been so long." "It's nothing, just chatting. By the way, you can take this letter to King Shiman later," Yuqinglan said as she began writing a letter. Okay, miss. Ying followed Yu Qinglan all year round, naturally knowing the relationship between Yu Qinglan and the head of the Qingshi sect. After Ying left, Yu Qinglan took out a box from the cabinet. There are various books in the box, such as The Innocent Princess and Handsome Prince, The Domineering Wealthy Merchant and Beautiful Lady, The Gentle and Iron Bone of the Martial Arts World, and so on. She searched for a long time and finally found a book about the Spirit Clan. What exactly is the existence of the Spirit Clan, and why are most of the places she goes to have inscriptions of the Spirit Clan recorded, but in actual life, no one knows about the Spirit Clan? She opened the book with curiosity, but the answer she received was still the same as before. There was not a word in the book, it was all blank paper. She must investigate this spiritual tribe. Lanner, what are you doing? Yu Qinglan was lost in thought when a woman's voice suddenly reached her ear. She quickly put the books on the floor into the box and quickly pushed the box to the bottom of the bed. After finishing these, she tidied up her clothes. I slowly opened the door. Mom, why did you come? Didn't you go to Xinjiang with your aunt? Why did you suddenly come back? Yu Qinglan remembered that she only went out a few days ago. Why did she come back so quickly? It's not your father yet. He insisted that I come back and discuss something with him. Gong Lingxiao was playing happily, but couldn't resist the urge of writing on the full moon. Alright, let's not talk anymore. I'm going to discuss things with your father. When my mother comes back, I'll take you to eat delicious food. Gong Lingxiao caressed Yu Qinglan's forehead and said softly. By the way, I also brought you some food and jewelry, she said and handed a few boxes of things to Yu Qinglan. What did you ask me to come back for? I have been writing letters since yesterday morning. 12 letters are delivered every day. Are you two free? Madam, we still have business to attend to. Can you please let go of my ears? Gong Lingxiao released her hand slightly upon hearing these words. Tell me, what's the big deal? Let you deliver so many letters to me in one day. Madam, have you ever heard of the Spirit Clan? Lingzhu, I have seen some legends about the Lingzhu in my grandfather's book. However, when my grandfather saw it, he destroyed that book. Gong Lingxiao didn't know why her grandfather was so sensitive to the Lingzhu. Do you remember what was said in the book? Gong Lingxiao shook her head and said, I was only 5 years old at that time, how could I remember? By the way, why did you suddenly think of asking the Spirit Clan? Yu Qinglan had never been very concerned about these things, and it was a bit strange to suddenly ask this today. Today, Nanjing asked me to mention the Spirit Clan. Coincidentally, I also saw the Spirit Clan in my father's memoir many years ago, but I couldn't find that memoir after my father passed away. What did your father say in his memoir? No, but my father said that the Spirit Clan only appears when there is a major disaster. They know too little about the Spirit Clan, so little that there is no record. Father, what do you mean by the extinction of the Spirit Clan? Why haven't I found any books about the Spirit Clan even after traveling all over the world? Gong Baixing carries his hands behind his back, and his divination cannot be miscalculated. Have you really searched everywhere? Gong Baixing asked again. I'm sure I've searched everything my father said, but I still haven't found anything. Later, I'll be divining and see if there's anything else I accidentally left behind. By the way, father. On the way back, the child met an old man who told him that if he wanted to prevent this disaster, he would go to Luhai City. Luhai City, is it the Luhai City in Dongli? Gong Nanjing has some doubts. Besides that Luhai City, there is also that Luhai City. So what do you think? Gong Baixing asked. The child wants Yu Qinglan from the Yu family to go with the child. Why? Firstly, Yu Qinglan is one of the best in our generation, and her strength is not inferior to mine. If she can go with me, she will definitely gain more wings. Secondly, Yu's younger sister always stays at home all year round, and I want to take her out for a walk, which is also my grandmother's intention. Thirdly, the girl's mind is mostly delicate, and she can notice more things than me. Okay, I will go talk to Master Yu about this matter. Dad, what do you want me to do in Jiangnan? I told you before, your visit is related to the rise and fall of the entire Yu family. 100 years ago, when my ancestor was traveling through Jiangnan, he was robbed by bandits. The Lu family in Jiangnan unfortunately lost one leg to save our ancestor. As a gesture of gratitude, my ancestors left our ancestral treasure to the Lu family to help them overcome difficulties. After overcoming the disaster, the Lu family originally intended to return the secret treasure to the Yu family, but our clan has not had free time to retrieve it and has been dragging it on. In addition, this secret treasure is not of much use to our tribe, so we have always kept it in the Lu family in Jiangnan. But as you can see, my Yu family is getting worse day by day. It's time to bring back the secret treasure. The Yu family is getting worse day by day, and Yu Qinglan has not experienced it at all. But I don't know anyone from the Lu family. How can I get it? What are you thinking? I asked you to go pick up Qi. Big brother is at the Lu family in Jiangnan, so what do you want me to do? Let you practice your temper, replied Yu Mansu. When will I depart then? At the latest tomorrow morning. Can we leave later tomorrow? If it's not possible, you can set off now, said Yu Man with a smile. Stay one more moment with Yu Qinglan, then her danger will be even greater. After all, the Gong family has already aimed their weapons at her now. Chapter 3. Jiangnan Flower Festival. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master, are you asking me to come over for something to explain? Sen Miao rushed over as soon as he received the news. Sen Miao, I may be leaving Xuanzhou for a while. So I want to temporarily entrust you with managing the affairs inside the building. After the establishment of Guanqing Tower, the farthest place she has been to is Xingjing, which is half a day's journey away from here. Now that she is going on a long journey, the most reassuring thing for her is the newly established stargazing tower. Leave it to me for management. Although Sun Miao has been following Yu Qinglan to handle the affairs in the building, he is not very familiar with the management of affairs. But At the moment when Yu Qinglan built the stargazing tower, she knew that she couldn't stay in Xuanzhou all the time, and the stargazing tower couldn't only develop in Xuanzhou. She just didn't expect this day to be so fast that she hadn't selected the person who could temporarily manage the stargazing tower yet. Yesterday she thought for a while, but only thought of Sen Miao alone. Sen Miao, you know that the stargazing tower has just been established, and it's been less than a year. I always have to go out and take a look. It's not possible to stay in Xuanzhou all the time and let the stargazing tower only develop in Xuanzhou. Xuanzhou can be the birthplace of stargazing tower, but it cannot be the end point. Besides, it's not that I don't want the stargazing tower. I'm just going out to see places outside Xuanzhou. I'll write to you if there's anything I can't solve. If there's anything you can't solve, you can write to me and let me solve it. Yes, Lord. It wouldn't be good if Sen Miao continued to decline. After all, the Lord had already spoken to this place. After resolving the matter with the stargazing tower, Yu Qinglan returned to her room to prepare for rest. Miss, I have packed all your bags. We can set off early tomorrow morning. Ewing put the collected bags on the table and prepared to go and get some food bags. Wait, you also want to go to Jiangnan with me? Yeah, the master said I had a good time taking care of the young lady on the way. Yu Qinglan thought she was the only one going. If it were just her, she would be able to get out of any trouble on the road smoothly, but if she were to take Mu Ning with her, it might be a bit difficult for the two of them to get out. Yu Qinglan has studied martial arts for a few years. Although he is not good enough to be chivalrous and righteous everywhere, he is still more than enough to protect himself, but if he wants to bring others along. Under the persistent persuasion of Yu Qinglan, Ewing finally agreed not to go to Jiangnan. Although Ewing wanted to go to Jiangnan with Yu Qinglan, she didn't want to cause trouble for Miss, so she agreed not to go. For her, staying in the mansion is also good. When Yu Qinglan was sleeping soundly, a person lifted her out of bed. Hurry up and wash up, it's time to set off for Jiangnan, urged Yu Mansu outside the door. Dad, what time is it now? Please let me sleep a little longer. Yueying, haven't you come yet to tidy up the young lady? Upon hearing the master's command, Yueying could only pull her own young lady from the bed to the dressing table and start grooming. It's almost time to go, if we don't set off, we won't be able to make it in time, urged Yu Mansu. After finishing her grooming, Yu Qinglan basically woke up. She yawned and walked onto the carriage under the moonlight. After a while, she wanted to lift the curtain and see where she was. Through the dim light, she saw a plaque with the words, Kingshimen, written on it. I've arrived at Kingshimen so soon. Her home is located in the north of Xuanzhou, with Kingshimen at the southernmost point, indicating that she's about to leave the city. Fubo, stop the car. The old man outside the car heard this and slowly parked the car on the roadside. Miss, what can I do for you? Fubo, can you go to the steamed bun shop in front and buy me a few buns? I'm a bit hungry now. Yu Qinglan was pulled up early in the morning and now feeling hungry is normal. Okay, miss, please wait in the car for a while. The figure of the old man quickly entered the crowd, and Yu Qinglan took advantage of the time when Fubo was buying steamed buns to go to Kingshimen. Most people in the Kingshimen know her, so no one stands in her way. As soon as she went upstairs, she saw Lin Luya standing by the window, wondering what she was thinking. Miss, you came to my Kingshimen early in the morning. What's the point? Lin Luya heard the commotion and turned around to see Yu Qinglan walking towards him. Did you have any clues about what I asked you to check yesterday? Yu Qinglan didn't chat with him as time was tight, but directly asked her for an answer. Is it the Spirit Clan? It's strange to say that I couldn't find any record of the Spirit Clan you mentioned even after searching through all the books in the sect. Lin Luya also felt strange. In this world, even fictional races can be found in books, but he couldn't find any clues to the Spirit Clan you mentioned. Are you sure that the Spirit Clan really exists? Lin Luya asked. I'm not sure, that's why I wanted to check. But there are indeed some places where she went before that have inscriptions with the characters Ling Clan. Yu Qinglan glanced down and saw that Fubo had already bought steamed buns. He was now walking towards the carriage and hurriedly bid farewell to Lin Luya. Where are you going? Lin Luya naturally saw the carriage downstairs. My father asked me to go to the Lu family in Jiangnan to get something. Jiangnan. I happen to have a trip to Jiangnan too, so I can stop by. Yu Qinglan hesitated for a moment and said, if Fubo only sends me out of the city, then I will wait for you outside the city. If Fubo wants to send me to Jiangnan, then let's meet again in Jiangnan. Yu Qinglan replied. Fubo, are you going to Jiangnan with me? No, the master only asked me to send the young lady outside the city. At first, Fubo thought the master would let him send the young lady to Jiangnan, but this morning the master told him that he only needed to send the young lady outside the city. Miss, I'll take you here. The rest of the way can only be left for you to walk on your own, Mississippi. In the mountains and forests outside the city, Fubo stopped the carriage, unloaded a horse, and handed it to her, then returned the same way. Yu Qinglan took out a map from his horse and saw how to get to Jiangnan. Jiangnan is not far from Xuanzhou, and it can be reached by horse riding for at most 2 days. Yu Qinglan took out the steamed buns that Fubo had just bought and ate them while waiting for Lin Luya. Your Highness, what are you going to Jiangnan for? There hasn't been anything happening in Jiangnan now, so why go to Jiangnan so well? It's natural to visit our old friends in the palace. What else can we do? Xiao Jinggu did have some business going to Jiangnan, but he's not sure if it's true or false yet, so he won't tell them for now, so he can save trouble when the time comes. Okay, you're going to Jiangnan to play without us, Mu Ji said angrily. Have you handled your affairs in court? Upon hearing this, Muji instinctively closed his mouth. There were indeed other matters that needed to be dealt with in court. When did he have an old friend in Jiangnan? Muji patted the dust on his body. Why doesn't he remember someone Xiao Jinggu knew in Jiangnan? What are you thinking again? Your Highness has something to do with going to Jiangnan. He has also heard about the matter in Jiangnan, so your Highness should be going to confirm it. What's up, what's up? Muji looked at Yi Xiuyu curiously, hoping to get some answers from his mouth. How do I know about this? Your Highness didn't tell me. Is your Highness doing something big behind our backs? Yi Xiuyu felt that this was strange. What does it mean to do something behind their backs? 2 guests, would you like to stay or stay at the restaurant? The waiter enthusiastically led the horses for Yu Qinglan and Lin Luya. Stay in the hotel and have 2 upper rooms. Okay, please come this way, sir. There are only 2 upper rooms left in this store, which is just enough for the 2 of them. Waiter, why is it so noisy outside? They went upstairs and finished putting things down before coming down to eat, but since they first entered the city, it has been very lively. My guest, you don't know. Tomorrow is our flower festival, so it's normal for it to be more lively. You also come early, otherwise, even ordinary rooms don't have them. Yu Qinglan hasn't really celebrated the flower festival yet, so it's normal to be curious about him. Let's finish our meal later and go take a look, Lin Luya said as she saw her curiosity. Okay, master, why are you deceiving Miss to go to Jiangnan? Fubo has been working in the Yu mansion since childhood, and he naturally knows that the Yu family has nothing in the Lu family. However, these 2 families do have some friendship. If you don't deceive her, she will go to Luhai City with the Gong family. Compared to Jiangnan, he naturally didn't want Yu Qinglan to go to Luhai City thousands of miles away. But master, this won't hold on to the Gong family for long. If they insist on asking Yu Qinglan to go to Luhai City, how can they stop it? It doesn't need to be delayed for long, just wait until they set off. They couldn't have been waiting for Yu Qinglan alone. Moreover, Yu Qinglan has always liked to be lively, and Jiangnan is a very lively and fun place. Jiangnan is a bustling area that can captivate many people's eyes, let alone a lively Yu Qinglan. Isn't there still Qi air? It's enough to hold her for a month or 2. Moreover, Yu Mansu believed that Yu Qinglan would not honestly rush to Jiangnan, and at least stay on the road for a few days. Furthermore, as the flower festival approaches, she must be interested in going and taking a look. Yu Qinglan was awakened by the sound of gongs and drums. When she opened the window of the inn, she realized that the street was already crowded with people. Yesterday when they went out and came back, the shop assistant told them that it was only lively on the day of the flower festival. So they had another day, and Lin Luya also said that his matter was not urgent, so he stayed with Yu Qinglan. After a simple grooming, she went downstairs and found that Lin Luya had already ordered breakfast, so she waited for her to come down and eat together. Let's go to Taoyuan Mountain to play later. The peach blossoms there are blooming perfectly now. Sure. This is her first time in Jiangnan, and of course she doesn't know as much as Lin Luya. Tomatoes on sticks, only the flower festival can have tomatoes on sticks. Flower lanterns, flower lanterns, flower lanterns that have been blessed by the goddess of flowers. Various shouts were chanting at the end of the street, and Lin Luya was carrying things all over her hands. Yu Qinglan herself also took a lot. At this moment, she suddenly had no regrets bringing Yueying, so that Yueying could still help her get some. How about we take the things back to the inn first and then go to Taoyuan Mountain? Lin Luya looked at the things in her hand and nodded, saying, okay. Anyway, it's not urgent for this moment. There's still 1 day left, but it's still early. Girl, do you want to go with us to worship the flower god? A girl suddenly came up to Yu Qinglan and said. After exchanging a glance with Lin Luya, Yu Qinglan smiled and said, no, we still have something to do. Miss, There are gifts for worshipping the flower god. The woman saw her refusal and invited her again. There are so many people on the street, why do you fall in love with me? Yu Qinglan refused multiple times, but the woman did not spare her any intention. Miss, I'm really sorry. We still have something to do. You, the flower god, should find someone else. Lin Luya protected Yu Qinglan behind her. We don't need much time to worship the flower god. The woman saw Lin Luya and thought he was very good looking, so she smiled and said, if this young master is interested, he can also come and worship the flower god with us. Anyway, there is no rule that the flower god must be a girl. Sorry, I'm not interested in this flower god festival. Lin Luya didn't want to waste time here. The woman saw Lin Luya's decisive refusal and did not continue to pester him. I like you, of course, because you look good. But I'm not a local of yours. Yu Qinglan seemed to remember that the flower god's sacrifice was for a local. It's okay with that. No one says it's necessary to be a local to worship the flower god. Besides, the flower god is the flower god of the whole world, not just our local flower god. Yu Qinglan had been entangled by her from the street to the inn, and in the end, she had no choice but to agree to sacrifice the flower god with them, while Lin Luya was waiting for her return at the inn. Let's rehearse the steps for worshipping the flower god. Seeing Yu Qinglan agree, the woman happily picked up Yu Qinglan's hand and walked towards the mansion. By the way, my name is Zeng Ningxue. I am 18 years old and one of the organizers of this flower festival. What's your name? The woman looked at her with a smile on her face. My surname is Yu, you can call me Qinglan. Yu Qinglan, is it the green of grass and the blue of orchids? No, it's because the article is already full of people's ears. The once sorrowful Qing he drank wine and showed leniency to the emperor, and the emotions overturned like waves. What an article has filled everyone's ears, a moment of melancholy in my thoughts, a moment of indulgence in drinking with the emperor, and a tumultuous human relationship. Yu Qinglan looked for her voice and saw a man slowly walking out of the room. Brother Shizhu, are you here? Zeng Ningxue ran towards the figure. Let's naturally take a look at how your flower god festival is prepared. A man tapped her forehead, and Zeng Ningxue grabbed his hand and said, Brother Shizhu, stop knocking. If you knock again, you'll be foolish. Zeng Ningxue touched the head that had just been knocked on and said in grievance. Zeng Ningxue pulled Yu Qinglan over and said, Brother Shizhu, this is Yu Qinglan I found on the street today. I want her to go with us to worship the flower god, is that okay? Of course it's possible. Zhao Shizhu was momentarily stunned when he saw Yu Qinglan, and then asked, Miss Yu is not staying at the Yu family well. What are you doing here? Does he know me? But why don't I know him? Yu Qinglan thought for a long time in her heart, but never thought of someone like him. Do we know each other? Upon hearing these words, Zhao Shizhu suppressed his unwillingness and replied, We may know each other. I heard my father mention you. How did you know my appearance after hearing my name? Yu Qinglan has never heard of anyone with this ability before. Zeng Ningxue looked at the scene in front of her and looked at the man beside her. Shizhu, let's go deal with the front desk first. Before leaving, Zhao Shizhu turned around to look at Yu Qinglan, but only saw her figure. She actually forgot. Chapter 4. Zengfu Gathering Spirit Method. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yu Qinglan always felt that Zhao Shizhu's gaze at her was a bit strange, but she didn't know what strange way it was. Zeng Ningxue saw her absent-minded and walked up to her and asked, What are you thinking? You're listless. I didn't think much about it. It's just Miss Zeng. I remember most places' flower festival is hosted by a family. Why did your Zeng family organize it, and the Zhao family still get involved? You don't need to call me Miss Zeng, but if you don't mind, you can call me Ningxue. Yu Qinglan and she are both young ladies from the same family and generation, so it's normal to call each other by their maiden names. Of course, we are also managed by one family, but as a branch of the Zeng family in Jiangnan, we can also participate in managing them. However, they are busy with affairs and do not have time to participate, so it is entrusted to my family to handle it fully. The Zhao family is the cousin of the Zeng family, so it is possible to do so. Are you solely responsible for organizing the flower festival? She seemed to only see one person, Zeng Ningxue, busy around. Of course not. I can't be busy alone. So my father entrusted this task to the three sisters. 3. What about the other two ladies? Why haven't you seen them all along? My second and fourth sisters should be busy with something else. Zeng Ningxue also felt a bit strange. Her two sisters often argue over a small matter, but today it is unusually quiet. Alright, hurry up and change your clothes. Let me see if it fits. If it doesn't, there's still time to make changes. Zeng Ningxue pushed Yu Qinglan into the room. If she were to continue chatting with Yu Qinglan now, she wouldn't be able to complete her task today. Yu Qinglan noticed that it was getting late. Since she said she wanted to help her, let's take it seriously. Well, it looks good. Zeng Ningxue was very satisfied with the upper body effect of Yu Qinglan. Miss, time is running out, a maid ran over and whispered in Zeng Ningxue's ear. Okay, Qinglan, let's go. If we don't go over, it will be too late. On the street, when everyone saw the flower god, they all gave way. Yu Qinglan thought that sacrificing to the flower god meant walking around the street in the clothes of the flower god. But the fact proved that she overthought it, and following a set of procedures left her half exhausted. Yu Qinglan doesn't want to participate in such activities anymore. Although she likes lively activities, she doesn't like activities that make her half tired. Miss Yu, this is the 100 flowers soup that my lady gave you. It is still made by boiling hundreds of flowers and has a fatigue-relieving effect. Remember to drink it while it is hot. The maid put down the soup and left. Yu Qinglan took a taste, and the taste was indeed good. The soup was not greasy or light, and the sweetness was just right, while also emitting a floral fragrance. Miss Eyre, you can't go in. Before Yu Qinglan could put down her bowl, she was interrupted by the three people who broke in. Why can't I go in? There's something in this Zeng mansion that I can't go to. Miss Wu has explained that Miss Yu is still a distinguished guest in the mansion, and no one can disturb her to rest, including you. Including me, what kind of thing is she? Yu Qinglan looked at the three people in front of her and suddenly became tired and annoyed. You are. Although she was angry, she couldn't tear her face from others. After all, this is someone else's house. You are Yu Qinglan, the person known as Miss Eyre approached and asked. No, step back. Zeng promised to be interrupted by a male voice just as he was about to make a scene. Father, Father just told him not to come and cause trouble, but she turned her head and arrived at Yu Qinglan's place. Hurry up and go back. Having promised to hear this sentence, I could only leave with a face full of dissatisfaction. Miss Yu, I'm really sorry to disturb your rest. Yu Qinglan was about to say that she was going back to the inn when Grandpa Zeng interrupted her. Miss Yu, please rest well tonight. Tomorrow, I will call Noor to apologize for you. Master Zeng, do I want to go out and live? She really doesn't want to stay here, I don't know if it's her illusion. She always feels that there is a smell in this Zeng mansion that she doesn't like. Miss Yu, this is blaming me for not being strict with my godmother. No, I didn't mean that, Yu Qinglan quickly clarified. She doesn't want her to stir up the relationship between their relatives right away. Miss Yu, please settle down here with peace of mind. But when Yu Qinglan was about to say something, Master Zeng said he had something to do and wanted to leave first. Yu Qinglan can only barely stay here for one night. I hope Lin Luya doesn't worry about her. After an unknown amount of time, Yu Qinglan was awakened by a strange sound. Because of the scent she liked, she didn't undress, but lay in bed for a while just like during the day. She felt a cold wind coming from behind as soon as she got up, but it only lasted for a moment. The sound in the yard was getting closer and closer. She had intended to go and take a look, but her head suddenly became dull, making it impossible for her to move a step. How can you forget your mission? Mission, what mission? Jiangnan's head grew heavier and heavier, until someone covered her mouth from behind. Who are you? Her consciousness suddenly became clear. She wasn't in the room just now, right? Where is this? No, who just covered her mouth? It's me, Lin Luya said in a voice. Aren't you at the inn? How could you be here? She remembered calling a maid from the Zeng mansion to report her safety. Look ahead, Jiangnan looked up and was immediately startled by the sight in front of her. What is this? This should be a gathering formation, right? The surrounding red light quickly gathered here, forming a huge circle in the center. There is a huge monster in the center of the circle, which looks very much like a person, but upon closer inspection, you will find that it is about 108,000 miles away from a person. Gathering Spirit Formation. Well, today is the Flower Festival, the time when all things are reviving, and the spiritual energy is at its peak. Activating this formation is naturally much more convenient. So what do you want to do? King Shiman is concerned about the strange events in the world, and naturally will not let them go. I want to see why he gathers spirits. Although the gathering spirit formation is for gathering spirits, Lin Luya doesn't know exactly what the gathering spirits are doing, so now he can't do anything either. The gathering spirit formation can only be destroyed if I know its purpose. If we gather to do good deeds, there is no need to destroy them. Lin Luya has always believed that using spiritual power to do good deeds is a mistake. The incoming red light suddenly stopped, and Lin Luya and Jiangnan cautiously watched the changes in the red light. The red light gradually merged into a humanoid shape, and under the reflection of the red light, something that didn't look like a human turned into a beautiful woman. Jiangnan, take care of yourself. I'm going to destroy this formation. Lin Luya didn't know what they were gathering spirits for just now, but now he knows. He must go and stop this gathering. This law should not exist in the world. Gathering deceased people with the spirits of others is not allowed in the world. Master, stop it. An old man dressed as a servant ran out of the room. Stop, I'm just one step away. How could you make me stop? Mr. Zeng watched as the people gathered in front of him almost went crazy, making it impossible for him to listen to others. While the two were arguing, Lin Luya quickly dispersed the human figure gathered by the red light, and the disturbed red light continued to attack Lin Luya. Kill him for me, kill him. The master of the Zeng mansion looked at the gradually disappearing figure and shouted at the servants. The servants received the master's order and surrounded Lin Luya. What Jiangnan didn't expect was that all the servants in the Zeng mansion had spiritual power. She saw that Lin Luya's strength was inferior to others, so she quickly rushed to Lin Luya's side. Why are you here? Let's go quickly. Jiangnan doesn't have spiritual skills, how could she possibly defeat this cultivator who cultivates spiritual power all over the garden? I'm leaving, what will you do? She is probably the only one who can save Lin Luya now. If she really only cares about running away on her own, what will Lin Luya do? Jiangnan had no intention of starting a fight, her only purpose was to take Lin Luya away. The misty smoke spread around the Zeng mansion centered around Jiangnan. By the time they regained their senses, Jiangnan had already disappeared with Lin Luya in place. How are you okay? Jiangnan looked at Lin Luya, who was covered in injuries, and her worries couldn't help but intensify. I'm fine, Lin Luya wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He didn't want Jiangnan to worry about him. Jiangnan looked at Lin Luya, who was on the verge of collapse, and it didn't seem like nothing was wrong. Sure enough, The next moment Lin Luya collapsed heavily on the ground. Yu Qinglan quickly helped him up, and after much effort, she carried Lin Luya into a dilapidated house. She was worried that the Zeng family would be searching for people everywhere, so she found a hidden place to hide Lin Luya before going to find the doctor. "Miss, would you like a lantern?" An old woman pulled Yu Qinglan and asked repeatedly. However, Yu Qinglan was only in a hurry to find a medical clinic and didn't have the leisure to go see any lanterns. "Sorry, I may not need this lantern right now. By the way, do you know where a medical clinic is, Auntie?" The old woman saw that she was very anxious, so she pointed her in a direction. As Yu Qinglan ran towards the direction pointed out by the old woman, a flying horse suddenly ran towards her. Yu Qinglan hurriedly ran away from the roadside, so as not to let the horse kick her. The person riding on the horse saw this scene and jumped off the horse. Fortunately, neither of them suffered any injuries. The people on the street started busy with their own affairs again when they saw the horse being controlled, as if nothing had happened earlier. "Miss, are you okay?" Compared to himself, Xiao Jinggu was more worried about the girl he almost bumped into just now. After all, a little girl's family must have been scared just now. "I'm fine. Yu Qinglan just wants to quickly find the medical clinic. If she's one step late, Lin Luya's danger will be even greater." Xiao Jinggu suddenly felt as if he had met Yu Qinglan somewhere, as if she was an old friend he hadn't seen in many years. "Girl, I saw that you seemed to have sprained your foot just now. How about I take you to take a look?" "No need, I have something urgent to attend to." Xiao Jinggu said nothing when he saw her anxious, because he believed they would see each other soon. Not only him, but also Yu Qinglan felt as if she had seen him there, but now she was more anxious to find a doctor for Lin Luya. Yu Qinglan walked for a long time and finally found a medical clinic. Today is the birthday of Wanhua, and the city is bustling, so it may seem early, but it is indeed getting late now, and many of them have closed. She has been running for so long, and only this one is open. The doctor who was just about to close the door didn't expect anyone to come to his clinic now. "Miss, do you want to take medicine or hire a doctor?" She didn't know what Lin Luya was like, so she could only hire a doctor. "I'm here to invite a doctor." Although it's not early, the doctor in the store is still willing to go with Yu Qinglan. "Doctor, how is he?" Yu Qinglan asked urgently as she looked at Lin Luya, who was unconscious. The doctor took out a bottle of ointment from the medicine box and said, "Miss, are you and this young master siblings?" Although Yu Qinglan didn't know why he asked, he still answered truthfully. "No, we are friends." The doctor glanced at Yu Qinglan and said, "Hey, go outside and get some water. I'll help him wash the dirty blood on his body and treat the wound." "Okay, I understand." Yu Qinglan found a broken basin in the yard and went to the nearby river to fetch water. Fortunately, there is a flowing stream here, otherwise where would she go to find clean water? Yu Qinglan had just prepared to go back with water when she saw a man walking towards them. "How could it be you?" As she got closer, Yu Qinglan finally saw the person's face. "Isn't this the person who almost bumped into her just now?" "Miss, I didn't expect us to be so destined," Xiao Jinggu smiled. Xiao Jinggu saw the basin in Yu Qinglan's hand and said, "Miss, why don't I help you with it?" "No need, I can take it myself." Then Xiao Jinggu followed Yu Qinglan to the front of the house. "Doctor, I brought the water. Do you want me to bring it in?" "No need, I'm out now." After all, he has already taken off Lin Luya's clothes. How can a little girl see a man's body? Is that what the girl meant by important? Xiao Jinggu leaned against a pillar and asked. "Well, a friend of mine has been seriously injured." Yu Qinglan always felt that this unfamiliar man would not harm her, giving her an inexplicable sense of trust. "By the way, why don't you stay at the inn?" Yu Qinglan looked at the man in front of her and didn't seem like he couldn't afford to stay at the inn. "The inns in the city are all occupied, I can't ask them to drive away the guests." Today is the flower festival, and it's not surprising that there are many people in the city. The young master's injury and decay have been treated. Next, please come with me to the store to get the medicine. The ointment and soup are used together, and the young master's injury will be cured in less than a month. The doctor at the pharmacy obviously did not see Xiao Jinggu beside Yu Qinglan, and only talked to him. Doctor, I'll go pick up the medicine with you. At this moment, the doctor noticed that there was someone next to Yu Qinglan. After looking at him, the doctor said, "That's okay. No need, let me go with the doctor to get the medicine. It's inconvenient for girls to walk alone at night. Isn't this with the doctor? Besides, this is already my business." Xiao Jinggu couldn't explain to Yu Qinglan, so he could only agree. "If you really have the heart to help me, please help me take care of my friend." As soon as Xiao Jinggu entered the door, he saw Lin Luya lying inside the house. Xiao Jinggu didn't expect to see Lin Luya here either. Why was it so badly injured? Yu Qinglan followed the doctor to the pharmacy, and the doctor skillfully filled and packed the medicine. "Miss, that young master was injured by spiritual power. If you want to recover faster, you need to find someone with spiritual power to heal him. As for these medicines, they can only assist him in his recovery." "Okay, I got it." Chapter 5. Mist in Flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wake up. Lin Luya opened his eyes and saw Xiao Jinggu leaning against the pillar. Lin Luya was just about to get up when he was stopped by Xiao Jinggu. "You have injuries on your body, don't move around." He thought for a while, probably feeling uncomfortable lying there, so he helped Lin Luya up and half leaned against him. "Why are you here?" Although there are many immortal cultivation sects in the world, there are only 3 who can truly manage the mysterious spiritual events in the human world. The first is the Spirit Guard Department of the Tianling Court, the second is the Xianwei Valley located in Wushan, and the third is the Qingshimen, which are spread throughout the world. As the head of the Qing dynasty sect, Lin Luya naturally had connections with the authorities of the other 2 organizations. Of course, it's because of the incident in Jiangnan. Isn't Master Lin also here for that reason? Since your Lingwei department has all arrived, the people of Xianwei Valley must have also arrived, right? I haven't seen this, but the information from Ling Wang is that they have already arrived in Jiangnan. It seems that they have already arrived here, but the person who came to investigate this matter has not yet appeared. Yes, the information in Xianwei Valley has always been more flexible than ours. How could it be slower? You said, although the Lu family in Jiangnan is not a major sect of cultivating immortals, at least they are also a family of cultivating immortals. How could they let this matter go? This is also something that Lin Luya couldn't understand. With the Lu family's style of behavior, they should have taken action long ago, but until now, there has been no movement in the Lu family, which is a bit unreasonable. Lin Luya looked around the room but didn't see Yu Qinglan. She was about to ask Xiao Jinggu if she had seen a girl. I heard Xiao Jinggu speak first and say, "The girl you're with is going to get the medicine. By the way, what's your relationship with that girl?" "We are naturally friends." "How long have you known each other?" I said, "When did your Highness 7 start to be curious about these things?" He remembered that Xiao Jinggu was not someone who liked to listen to stories. Now why is he so curious about his relationship with Yu Qinglan? Looking at Xiao Jinggu's expression, Lin Luya suddenly thought of something. If you have that kind of idea about him, you can save it. She is not interested in her children's private affairs. Lin Luya has known Yu Qinglan for almost a year, and other women are concerned about marrying a desirable husband, but Yu Qinglan's only focus is on how to strengthen the Guanqing Tower. Where did you think of it? I just think she misses my old friend very much. Yu Qinglan is definitely the best woman he has ever seen. Although this is only their first time meeting, he thinks they have known each other for a long time. As Yu Qinglan walked by the roadside, the grass moved a few times, and suddenly a few figures jumped out of the grass. Is this her daughter? A person took out a portrait and compared to the figure of Jiangnan. Well, it's not wrong, it's her. Can you be more polite to her? She is at least the child of the master. If the master finds out, he will make it difficult for you to eat and walk away. A fist kindly hit them on the head. Boss, we won't dare again next time. The figure rubbed the smashed head, feeling quite aggrieved. Boss, do we still have to follow her? You need to follow me. I'll go back and report to my master. Jiangnan vaguely felt someone following her behind, but as she turned around, there was nothing behind her except for a winding path. Fortunately, the moonlight tonight was bright enough for her to see the road clearly. You're back, how are you? Nothing happened on the way, right? Xiao Jinggu was worried that something might happen to her, so he wanted to go along the way to pick her up, but he only took a few steps when he saw Jiangnan carrying medicine. Why did you rush out? Didn't I ask you to take care of him? He's fine, he just woke up. That's why I came out to find you. Jiangnan heard that Lin Luya had already woken up, so she quickened her pace. She is still a bit worried about Lin Luya's situation now, after all, she has suffered such a serious injury. You don't have to worry about him. I just treated his injury and there's basically no problem now. After a few days of rest, he will recover. Xiao Jinggu naturally saw that Jiangnan was worried about Lin Luya. Do you know each other? If you don't know each other, how could you treat him? We do know each other, Xiao Jinggu didn't hide it from Jiangnan. It's just that we've been apart for a while. Xiao Jinggu remembers that they haven't seen each other for almost 2 years. Xiao Jinggu and Jiangnan escorted Lin Luya back to the inn together. Xiao Jinggu had originally planned to spend the night with Lin Luya. But the waiter at the inn told them that a guest had just checked out and there was still an empty room in the store. Xiao Jinggu seems to be staying here for a while, so he asked for the vacant room. The atmosphere of the flower festival is slowly dissipating, and the streets have become much more spacious. Waiter, did Miss Yu come back to stay here last night? Zengfu got up early in the morning to find Jiangnan. When she arrived at her house, she realized that the person was missing. Her first thought was that Jiangnan had returned to the inn. Yes, Miss Yu didn't come back until late last night. At that time, they were all preparing to rest before seeing them return. That month, the girl lived in that room. Miss Zeng, Miss Yu is currently resting. We dare not let you disturb the guests' rest. Okay, I'll wait for her here. Zengfu was not prepared to embarrass anyone. Zengfu waited in the inn for an hour without seeing Jiangnan and Lin Luya. Miss Zeng, why don't you leave first? They came back late yesterday and probably got up later. Miss, I said wait, then I will definitely wait for her. What are you urging me for? In fact, she herself is running out of patience and just unwilling to leave empty-handed. After a while, Zengfu finally saw the next month Jiangnan coming down from upstairs. Miss Yu, why did you come back alone? Jianglan's mind was still a bit confused now, and it wasn't until she heard Zengfu's voice that she became a little clearer. Miss Zeng, how did you come here? Jianglan only got up when she heard someone calling her in a daze. She didn't expect that this person was actually Zengfu. I got up today to look for you, and when I found out you were not in the room, I guessed you had gone back to the inn. Did it be the second sister's mischief yesterday that brought you back? Yeah, Jianglan remembered that there was indeed someone who went to her place to cause trouble yesterday. However, she was too tired at that time and didn't pay much attention. It was the master of the Zeng mansion who came to end this farce. Wait, master of the Zeng mansion. Who is the master of the Zeng mansion gathering souls for? What's wrong with you? Zengfu looked at the absent-minded Jianglan and asked in a voice. It's okay, I'm just thinking about something. By the way, Miss Zeng, why haven't I seen Miss Fourth? My fourth sister was not at home yesterday for something. Oh, this way. Do you know why Miss Eyre came to see me last night? I'm not very sure about this either. It seems that your stunning attire during the flower festival attracted jealousy from others. That's why my second sister came to find you. Zengfu definitely couldn't tell you Jiangnan truthfully. It was because Zeng promised that she had seduced her crush and wanted to come and settle accounts with her. Miss, why are you here? The master is in a hurry to find you. Zengfu's maid ran to them in a hurry. Since Miss Zeng has something to do, let's go first. Alright, I'll come find you later. Zengfu came to find Yu Jiangnan for two purposes. One was to apologize for what she had promised yesterday, but to thank her for helping her complete the ceremony of 2 sacrifices to the flower god. After Zengfu walked out of the door, Yu Jiangnan poured herself a cup of tea. That girl just now was. Xiao Jinggu came and saw Yu Jiangnan talking to someone else. She is Miss Zengfu from the Zeng family. Zengfu. He saw Zengfu in the local registered residence, but when did there be a lady in Zengfu? Zengfu is not only 3 childs, but also said that this lady came from Dongli. That's even worse. It used to be a big surname in Dongli, how could it be here? That can only be the Zeng family in Jiangnan, but the Zeng family in Jiangnan is not close to here. What are they doing here? Yes, but they seem to be just a branch. Yu Jiangnan remembered that there was also a Zengfu in Jiangnan, but it must not be this Zengfu. That Zengfu seems quite far from here. That's it. I'll just say how the people from the Zeng family came here. It's normal for such a big family to have branches, which is not surprising. By the way, give me the medicine you bought last night. What do you need that medicine for? She was about to go and decoct medicine for Lin Luya. Of course I'll take it and boil it. He'll wake up later and take some medicine. He has studied pharmacology for a few years, and he still understands this. Okay, then. Yu Jiangnan was struggling to make medicine. He can't take medicine on an empty stomach, so Xiao Jinggu carefully ordered a bowl of thin meat and rice porridge for Lin Luya. Lin Luya actually woke up early, but didn't want to go downstairs and stayed indoors all the time, which Xiao Jinggu certainly knew. Luya, I'm here to bring you food. You can come in directly, my door is not locked. Drink kanji first and take medicine. This medicine doesn't have much effect on me, Lin Luya said as she looked at a bowl of black medicine. In fact, this medicine really doesn't have much effect on him. The medicine I worked hard to make for you, how could you not drink it? This medicine has little effect on him, but it doesn't mean it has no effect. Or rather, you find this medicine bitter. Xiao Jinggu remembered someone saying that Lin Luya was afraid of suffering. Your Highness, I've noticed that you've been getting more and more serious these days. Even his fear of hardship is well known. You shouldn't have sent someone to investigate my private life, right? You're not right, I'm just showing reasonable concern for my friends. What's wrong with that? Lin Luya picked up the bowl and drank all the medicine in it in one breath. I used to be very afraid of hardship, but that was before. Here, this is tea. Although it can't reduce the pain of medicine, you can dilute the taste of medicine in your mouth a bit. Thank you. It is rare for the royal family to take care of people, and Xiao Jinggu is also an exception. No need, we have known each other for 3 or 4 years now. I have heard some about you. In fact, Lin Luya is not an easy person. He has never had parents since he was young. He was taken away by the previous head of the Qingshi sect as his own disciple due to his innate spiritual power in his body. At the age of 14, he inherited the position of the sect head. He is only 18 years old now, but the emperors of both countries dare not give him face. Are you two okay? The two of them took so long to take a pill. Miss you, you can come in. Yu Jiangnan walked in with Lin Luya's permission. Miss you, what's up to you? Xiao Jinggu asked. I came to tell you that I'm going to the Zeng mansion. During the time they came up, Zeng Mingxue came here again to find her. What are you doing at the Zeng mansion? The third miss of the Zeng mansion said she wanted me to go, but she said she wanted to see me if she had something to do. If Zeng's mansion can injure Lin Luya, it means there must be something powerful in the mansion. Lin Luya and Xiao Jinggu are both a bit worried about Jiangnan. Don't worry, I have a plan in mind. If the situation is not right, I will leave first. Okay, if the situation is really not right, remember to contact us. Since Jiangnan has said so, he believes she can ensure that he can escape unscathed. Why don't you trust her to go to the Zeng mansion alone? Because I believe in her. Lin Luya has always believed in Jiangnan. After all, the person who can build a building within a year cannot be inferior. If her martial arts were only placed in the realm of human martial arts, it would be enough to establish a sect. Miss Zeng came to me just to have breakfast with me. Jiangnan thought there was something important, but it turned out that it was just to have a meal with her. Miss Yu, I'm really sorry that my second sister disturbed your rest yesterday. Also, thank you for your help yesterday. If it weren't for you and me, we might not have been able to hold the Flower God Festival ceremony. Miss Zeng, it's just a small matter. As for Miss Eyre's matter, I didn't take it to heart either, said Jiangnan. Miss Yu, let's go to Taoyuan Mountain after dinner. She remembers Lin Luya telling her that the peach blossoms on Taoyuan Mountain are blooming now. Swear, you're going out now. They just arrived at the door and saw the old master of Zeng mansion, Zeng Ming. For some reason, Jiangnan felt that the old master he saw today was different from the one he saw last night. Well, we want to go to Taoyuan Mountain to play. Sure, but remember to come back early. Miss Zeng, why does Mr. Zeng wear a bamboo hat during the day? I'm not sure about that either. She always remembers her father wearing a bamboo hat. He didn't say anything, and no one asked. Taoyuan Mountain is famous for its peach blossoms, and now it happens to be the season when peach blossoms are in full bloom. With just a gust of wind, the rain of flowers will fly in the sky. The wind is rising. In an instant, they surrounded the sea of flowers, as if they were in the world of flowers. They can only reach out and touch the scent of the flowers. Listen, someone is playing the piano. The rain of flowers in the sky accompanied the faint sound of the piano. Flowers fell into people's eyes, and the sound of the piano played into their hearts. In the center of Taoyuan Mountain, a man in white sat on the ground, and the qin in front of him made pleasant sounds with the flick of his fingertips. The petals of peach blossoms fell on his pure white clothes, creating a unique scenery. I haven't seen you for many years, Yanli. Your piano skills have improved a lot. Ji Yanli stroked the piano and stood up to salute, saying, "It's thanks to all of you for praising it. It's just some carving skills. What do you call carving insects tricks? What do our ones count? The sound of this qin is very wonderful, I don't know who is playing it." Zeng Mingxue was delighted, and now hearing this qin sound is naturally very joyful. If you like, we can see who's playing. Is it really possible? Who said it's not possible? No one said that, but we. Don't be so arrogant anymore, as soon as you leave, all the people will be gone. Luya, where are we going? Xiao Jinggu looked at Lin Luya in front of him and asked. I found something wrong yesterday. Don't we have a place to live? What are we doing here? Lin Luya led him to the front of an inn. The innkeeper saw Xiao Jinggu and quickly welcomed him out. Master, you're here. They learned from the innkeeper that many years ago, this was just a deserted forest without a human habitation. There are various mountain spirits and wild monsters in the forest, who do not step into the human world, and humans cannot harm them at all. This deadlock was broken by a family 100 years ago. They came from out of town to escape the wilderness, accidentally entering a forest full of mountain spirits and wild monsters. At the beginning, everyone thought they were doomed. But after a month, the family walked out of the deserted forest peacefully. Originally, no one thought anything was wrong, just that they were lucky, until one day, a passerby accidentally saw a skeleton that was gnawing on humans at that house. "Boss, there's a customer over there who vomited blood. You go take a look," a panicked shop assistant quickly ran over. The innkeeper can stop talking and run towards the direction pointed out by the waiter. "What's going on? How could someone spit blood so well?" Xiao Jinggu and Lin Luya exchanged a glance and then followed the pace of the inn owner. "What's going on?" The innkeeper saw a bunch of people gathered around and casually grabbed one person to ask. "I don't know. I heard someone was killed by a monster. I just wanted to come over and see what exactly happened." "I don't know either." "Let's make way, let's all make way, the government is handling the case." The crowd surrounding them only slightly dispersed upon hearing this sentence. Chapter 6. Entering Taoyuan Mountain for the first time. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The officials arrived faster than they had imagined. "Please stay, both of you." A threatening voice rang in their ears. "This is a case handled by the government. Please evacuate unrelated personnel as soon as possible." "Brother Pukwai, we're just curious, there's no other meaning," Xiao Jinggu quickly explained as he saw the knife around his neck. "They are currently conducting private visits, but they cannot say anything amazing. Besides, in this world, it is often believed that cultivating immortals and spiritual power are strange rumors. Who would believe these theories of ghosts and gods? Luya, I told you earlier, don't be so curious. These are under the supervision of the officials. Why do ordinary people like us worry about this?" The officials saw them retreat and then threw the knife on their hands. When Jiangnan and Zengfu arrived at the center of Taoyuan, the people there were almost scattered, leaving only a few regular servants cleaning. "It seems that we are still one step late." As soon as Jiangnan entered this Taoyuan mountain, she felt very uncomfortable. Its discomfort was not the cool feeling of the Zeng mansion, but she always felt a pair of eyes looking at her. She suggested coming here because she didn't like the feeling of being stared at. After noticing Jianglan's unease, Zengfu spoke up and asked, "Are you feeling unwell somewhere?" "Well, I want to finish the things assigned by my father earlier and then go home early," said Jianglan. "By the way, what do you have to deal with when you come here?" Zengfu now remembered that she didn't ask Jianglan why she came here. "My father asked me to come here to deliver a letter to someone." "Sending letters, isn't your family making fragrant powder? How could you have come to deliver letters?" Jianglan guessed well, and Zengfu did send someone to investigate her. "My dad said that letter is very important to my family, so I must come and deliver it to rest assured. Besides, they will also send someone to a fixed location to pick me up." "Why haven't you seen anyone pick you up these days?" "I don't know, they probably haven't arrived yet. However, I want to walk more on the street. What if I accidentally find my contact person?" Jianglan wanted to find an excuse to leave here, and the feeling grew stronger and stronger. "Okay, let's go down the mountain now." Jianglan also felt strange. Although she had always enjoyed being lively since childhood, what truly allowed her to relax was nature. If she felt uncomfortable when she was a child, she would go to the mountains to stay for a few days, and after a few days, she would be able to bounce around again. Even here, there was no exception. Several injuries were taken care of in the mountains, but Taoyuan Mountain gave her a feeling of dislike. "Well, then you go back first. I want to play here for a while longer." Zengfu walked for a while before suddenly saying to Jianglan, "Okay, then I'll go back first." Jianglan didn't stop her when she saw her like this. "Since she is coming to Taoyuan Mountain, there must be something to do, but I don't know what it is. How about I go to the Zeng mansion to investigate?" Jianglan was lost in thought when she didn't notice someone quietly approaching her. Until she bumped into that person. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to," Yu Qinglan quickly apologized after realizing she had hit someone. Qinglan, you're here like this. He waited in the Lu mansion for so long without seeing the shadow of Yu Qinglan. Today, he said he wanted to take a look at Taoyuan mountain and happened to see her. After hearing his voice, Yu Qinglan lifted her head and indeed saw Yu Shiqi. Big brother, why are you here? He said he's going out for a year or two, so why are you here now? No, did my father say he was waiting for her at the Lu family in Jiangnan? Shiqi, who is this girl? At this moment, Yu Qinglan noticed another man beside her. This is my sister Yu Qinglan. Lu Jiangnan heard Yu Shiqi mention his sister and didn't expect to see her here. Big brother, who's that person next to you? Yu Qinglan actually doesn't know much about the people around Yu Shiqi. Since she came here, the number of times she can see Yu Shiqi is so small that she can count with one hand. It's good if she can recognize him. My friend Lu Jiangnan, I wrote to you about it. Indeed, he has sent many letters to his home in recent years, but those letters are all with his parents and she has never seen them before. Qinglan, hello. I'm Lu Jiangnan, you can call me Brother Lu. Okay, Brother Lu. Yu Qinglan smiled. Their two families are close friends, so it's not a problem to call them that. By the way, Qinglan, where do you live now? Since she hasn't gone to the Lu family, there must be a place to live here. I live at an inn with my friends. Friend. Yu Shiqi remembered his father telling him that there was only Yu Qinglan. By the way, why didn't you see Yu Ying by your side? Yu Shiqi looked for a while but couldn't see Yu Ying's figure. She was at home and didn't come with me. After the officials left, the crowd gradually dispersed, and the person spitting blood on the ground was also carried away by the officials, leaving only some blurry bloodstains on the ground. I remember you had a spell that could see everything that happened in this place within 12 hours. Don't you also have a spell that can see things within a radius of 100 miles? What did you just see? I saw that the person vomiting blood was a young man. He coughed up blood while shouting for the monster to come back for revenge. Is that all? The blood that the young man coughed was not normal blood, but blood foam. It was exactly the same as those cases reported by Jiangnan. Look what happened here yesterday. I can't use that spell right now. Lin Luya could have used this spell if he wasn't injured, but he's currently injured and it's impossible to do it. Is it due to injury? However, what kind of person can hurt you like this? Lin Luya's strength is not particularly weak, and he can directly rank among the top 3 in this world. In the human world, Xiao Jinggu couldn't believe anyone had such strength to hurt him so badly. My injury may not have been caused by humans. Although the guards of the Zeng mansion have spiritual power, they are still unable to harm him. It's not a human injury. What kind of injury was that? Compared to humans, it is more like a force from another world. A force. Well, a power that doesn't seem to belong to the human world. He has walked so many places in the human world and hasn't seen a similar power yet. The innkeeper saw them standing there without leaving and said, but what did the sect leader think of? It's nothing, I'm just thinking about why I'm here. When he came here last night, he saw a hint of red light and chased after it before arriving at the Zeng mansion. The people of Zeng mansion are using this red light to gather spirits for the deceased. What is the connection between them? Yu Shiqi was worried that Yu Qinglan was staying at the inn, so he insisted that she move in with them. Yu Qinglan followed them to a bustling street market, and their mansion was located in the center of the market. When are you going back to the inn to pack your luggage? Yu Shiqi asked. He originally intended to ask Yu Qinglan to go back to the inn to collect her luggage, but she insisted on checking where their mansion was first, saying that she would go to collect it after finishing the inspection. What did you do? I've been explaining it to you for so long, but you haven't accomplished anything, a bunch of useless people. The officials in the imperial study buried their heads lower upon hearing this, wishing they could just bury them underground. If I had known this way, I wouldn't have forced your majesty to make that choice in the beginning. Now, no matter how angry your majesty is, they have to endure it themselves. The ground was filled with memorials and documents, forcing passing flies to hold their breath. Get out of here. In no time, the officials on the ground disappeared. As soon as the sixth Prince Xiao Jingze entered the door, he saw the ministers hurriedly pushing out of the main hall in a disheveled state. Ladies and gentlemen, this is... The ministers saw Xiao Jingze and hastily bowed before running away on their own. They didn't want to be scolded again now. Li Gonggang, what's going on? Xiao Jingze asked when he saw the eunuch in chief standing outside the imperial study. Your Majesty has been in a bad mood lately. Please be careful, Your Highness, said Li Gonggang as he opened the door to the imperial study. I've said it all, get out of here. The emperor didn't look at anyone and just picked up the cup from the table and threw it over. The cup was impartial and hit Xiao Jingze on the head. Father, calm down. Upon hearing the sound, the emperor realized that he had hit the wrong person. Zaire, are you okay? The emperor quickly ran to Xiao Jingze and asked. Why are you stunned? Why don't you go and seek medical treatment? The eunuch on the ground heard these words and flew to the main area of Chaotai Hospital. Empress, the emperor has fallen ill again today. In the queen's palace, the elegant woman was slowly trimming the flowers and plants, without taking the words of the newcomer to heart. Madam, the emperor is angry again this morning. The person repeated it multiple times, but the palace maids next to the empress were tired of listening. The queen then put down the scissors in her hand and asked the palace maid to pour herself a cup of tea, as if she hadn't seen anyone kneeling on the ground. Madam, your Highness Six has been injured by the emperor again today. The empress's calm face finally showed a sullen expression. Mr. Sun, you have crossed the line. The visitor looked at the broken tea cup in front of him, and a cold sweat couldn't help but burst out from his back. Empress, calm down. You know not less about our royal affairs than this palace. Madam, calm down. He had just knelt down and now he had his head down on the ground. Calm down. Your court's affairs have nothing to do with me, a woman from the deep palace. If you are dissatisfied with the emperor, you can jointly petition and come to this palace to cause trouble. I'm afraid it's not right. Everyone could hear it, and the queen's voice grew colder and colder. Under heaven and earth, only you have a way to stop your majesty. A few days ago, several adults were dissatisfied with the emperor's decree, so they jointly wrote a letter requesting cancellation. However, in less than a day, all these adults were imprisoned, and none of the charges were repeated. Don't you forget that the person who can truly control your majesty has long died in your hands. The empress looked up at the palace maid on one side, who immediately understood the empress's meaning. Sir, wipe your sweat. The person looked at the handkerchief in the palace maid's hand, and their heart was about to jump to their throat. Go back and tell those people behind you that I can't help them with their busy schedules. Also, in the future, it's best to find someone who is more daring when seeking an audience, otherwise I'm afraid I'll scare their courage and say that I'm risking their lives. Green Luo, please send off Lord Sun for me. Your Majesty, the imperial physician has arrived. Then why don't you get in quickly? The imperial physician heard this sentence, his heart hanging in his heart for a while. Sure enough, as soon as he entered the door, he saw fragments scattered all over the ground. The imperial physician only wanted to quickly bandage his highness and then quickly escape from here. He didn't want to become the emperor's punching bag. Your Majesty, your highness's injury is not a big deal. The imperial physician simply bandaged Xiao Jingze before exiting the imperial study. Zaire, are you busy? Father, the number of casualties in Jiangnan has increased again. They haven't found a solution yet. Father, from my son's perspective, it doesn't seem like it's human-made. Isn't it human-made? That's what ghosts and gods do. Your Majesty, the national teacher is requesting an audience. The voice of the eunuch outside the door came. Your Majesty, in my opinion, this matter should be handed over to the Lingwei department. It was learned from the round-trip population that this matter was no longer an ordinary dead person. How could a normal deceased person turn into bones overnight? Someone, go and call Gu-er over. Luya, why do I always have a bad feeling? The spirit dove suddenly appeared in their sight. This is the messenger pigeon of Lingwei division. Xiao Jinggu looked at the information on the note and his heart sank. What's wrong? Lin Luya saw his face turn heavy and speculated that something might have happened in the imperial capital. My master said that my father asked me to lead the Lingwei department to fully investigate the robbery incident in Jiangnan. At the same time, he also asked Brother Six to assist me in handling it together. I will arrive in Jiangnan in no time. Xiao Jinggu actually didn't want so many people to come out together. In dealing with certain events, having too many people doesn't necessarily mean having too much power. He just can't figure out why a mountain bandit robbery case needs to be handed over to the Lingwei department. He didn't come here for the bandits either. What are you going to do? Get up now and meet them. You don't need to get up. I'll write a letter to Yi Xiuyu later and ask him to come and find me. Let's go back to the inn now. They are still thinking about what to do next. When they returned to the inn, Yu Qinglan happened to be there too. Xiao Jinggu saw the two men behind Yu Qinglan and wondered, Miss Yu, these two are. What puzzled Lin Luya was not the two men behind Yu Qinglan, but the fact that musical instrument Qinglan actually knew people from Xianwei Valley. Master Lin, long time no see, how have you been lately? Xiao Jinggu knew that Lin Luya knew many people, but he didn't expect everyone to know him. Luya, these two are. They are the disciples of the eternal elder of Xianwei Valley, the Yushi-Chi Yu Gongzi and the Lu Jinyan Lu Gongzi. This is Xiao Jinggu from the Lingwei department. It turns out to be His Royal Highness Ruishuan, disrespectful and disrespectful. There is a certain connection between the three organizations, and they have a basic understanding of the characters in the organization. Even if I haven't met before, I have heard of my name and identity, let alone that Prince Ruishuan Xiao Jinggu is in charge of the Lingwei department. Now only Yu Qinglan was left standing there puzzled. It turned out that people he thought he didn't know knew each other, but only when and how they met. Since we all know each other, let's not talk in secret. Their purpose here is all the same. The purpose of Lingwei, Qingshimen, and Xianwei Valley is to solve the strange events in the human world and restore peace to the human world. So compared to competition, they are more cooperative. You should have noticed what happened to the Zeng family, too. The people from Xianwei Valley appeared here, it's impossible that they were just for fun. Yes, we noticed the Zeng mansion as soon as we arrived in Jiangnan. Have you found any clues in Jiangnan? While investigating the Zeng family, Yushichi was taken by a dark shadow to Taoyuan mountain. By chance, she heard someone say that the Zeng family would go to Taoyuan mountain every day to pick up something. They searched for a long time in Taoyuan mountain but couldn't find any clues. They wanted to go to the Zeng mansion first to see, but as soon as they approached it, they would be stopped by a mysterious force. After multiple unsuccessful attempts, they could only return to Taoyuan mountain again. However, they waited for a few days and did not see anyone come to pick up anything. They kept waiting and it was not a solution, so they had to go back first. They had just returned when Yushichi received a letter from his father, saying that he wanted Yu Qinglan to come to the Lu family to find him. So they waited at the Lu family for 3 days, but they didn't see the figure of Yu Qinglan for 3 days. They wanted to come back to Taoyuan mountain to see, and happened to meet Yu Qinglan on their way down the mountain. You have been tracking down the Zeng mansion, haven't you seen the spirit gathering formation of the Zeng mansion a few days ago? Lin Luya once said, the spirit gathering formation requires sacrificing strangers, but there are no missing people in the Jiangnan area. On the contrary, many have been kidnapped by mountain bandits. No, we've been blocked outside all along. They haven't found a way to get into Zeng's mansion yet. By the way, there's one more thing. My sister Yuqinglan, I hope she can move to my place now. Yuqinglan, who was left aside, was finally seen by them. Sure. Lin Luya felt that being with Yuqinglan and Yushichi would be safer than being with them. Yuqinglan only brought a few clothes to change, and there was nothing to tidy up. Miss you. Xiao Jinggu originally wanted to ask Yuqinglan for the contact information of the spiritual talisman, but suddenly remembered that Yuqinglan did not have spiritual power. How could she possibly have a spiritual talisman? What's up with you? Yuqinglan asked as she looked at Xiao Jinggu, who was hesitant to speak. Miss you reach out your hand. Fortunately, their spiritual talismans can also be used by people without spiritual power. Yuqinglan looked at the seal script in her hand and said, "What is this?" "This is my talisman, you can use it to contact me anytime, anywhere." Lin Luya also gave her one, but Lin Luya gave her a jade pendant. Xiao Jinggu seemed to also see Yuqinglan's confusion. Lingfu is a seal script that can be drawn on any object. Just like Luya, most of his Lingfu is drawn on common clothing. Of course, he can also draw it on his hand. Oh, that's it. Chapter 7. A Mysterious Mountain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qinglan, are you still okay? Yushichi urged below. She doesn't have much to tidy up, there's no need to take so long. As soon as Yuqinglan came down, Yushichi saw a faint blue light in her hand. Whose talisman is this? In fact, for them, talismans are not given to others casually, and communication is mostly through the mode of writing letters. Yuqinglan didn't want to answer this question, so she changed it and said, "Big brother, do you know someone named Zhao Shizhu?" Yuqinglan suddenly remembered the look in Zhao Shiju's eyes before. Have you seen him? Well, I saw him a few days ago in Anqing. I just thought his gaze was strange. Yushichi looked at her current state and was also stunned. He didn't expect her to really forget so thoroughly, even their most basic relationship. Yuqinglan saw him not speaking and tentatively asked, "Should I know him?" You really don't know each other. Yuqinglan looked at him suspiciously. How could he feel that Yushichi was deceiving her? I really don't know him. Really? Perhaps due to nervousness, Yushichi avoided Yuqinglan's gaze. Seeing Yushichi's appearance, Yuqinglan seemed to have an answer in her heart. Big brother, can you tell me about me and her? Yuqinglan didn't want to be discovered that secret because of being alone. Do you really want to know? Well, I want to know everything that happens to me, Yuqinglan replied. You and he are both disciples of the world's top expert Mu Xiaoyu. According to reason, you should call him senior brother. Has he ever been to our house? Yuqinglan had a master, but she didn't know his name. When he was a child, he often went to our house to play. Yushichi looked at Yuqinglan's expression and didn't know what he was thinking. Suddenly, he said, when you were a child, you kept clamoring to marry someone. How could this be possible? Yuqinglan's thoughts were immediately pulled back to reality by him. If this were true, the family should have told her long ago. How could she not know anything about it? Yushichi saw Yuqinglan's reaction and quickly explained, I'm joking, don't take it seriously. Alright, don't be angry. When I have time, I'll take you to Dongli to play. Yushichi comforted Yuqinglan when she saw her anger. How can we joke about this kind of thing? Yushichi saw that she didn't have any intention of calming down, so he changed the topic. By the way, how could you know Lin Luya and Xiao Jinggu? These two people, one is the leader of the Qingshi sect and the other is the leader of the Lingwei department. Yushichi thought for a long time, but couldn't imagine how they could have intersected with Yuqinglan. I also met them a few days ago. Sorry, sister, I didn't mean to bump into you. A little girl suddenly ran past Yuqinglan and accidentally bumped into her. Just as Yu Qinglan was about to say it was okay, she realized that the little girl had disappeared. Yu Shiqi had just arranged for Yu Qinglan's residence when she received a letter from Lu Jinyan. Young Master Yu, my young master has something to do and is going out. He asked me to hand it over to you. Lu Jinyan said in the letter that he had just received an invitation from his old friend and was going out now, so he didn't have to worry. Qinglan, please stay at home and I'll go out if I have something to do. Big brother, are you going to the Zeng mansion? Well, hello, stay here and I'll come back later to give you something delicious. Big brother, I have a question for you, said Yu Qinglan. She has been here for so long without anyone urging her. The Yu family doesn't have anything at all in the Lu family, right? What's the problem? What is the reason why my father asked me to come here? Upon hearing this question, Yu Shiqi hesitated for a moment before answering, didn't you already guess? What is the reason why my father separated me? Yu Qinglan didn't answer when she saw him, it's for Luhai City, right? Not bad. Since Yu Qinglan had guessed everything, there was no need for him to hide it. I need to do something, don't run around alone. Okay. Her father didn't let him go to Luhai City, and she didn't want to go either. Since that's the case, she'll stay here for a few more days. As soon as Yu Shiqi left, Yu Qinglan received a letter from the stargazing tower. In addition to mentioning that her father had supported her afterwards, the letter also mentioned paying attention to the mountain behind Anqing and the forest behind it. Isn't the mountain behind Anqing referring to Taoyuan mountain? Pay attention to Taoyuan mountain and the mountain behind it. Lin Luya looked at the message sent by Yu Qinglan and paid attention to Taoyuan mountain. What exactly is hidden in the forest behind Taoyuan mountain? Lin Luya thought of the story told by the innkeeper in the daytime. Chen Yi, now go check the origin of the forest behind Taoyuan mountain and its surrounding environment. By the way, have you ever heard of legends or stories about that forest? Lin Luya suddenly called out to Chen Yi, who wanted to leave. After thinking for a while, Chen Yi replied, Master, there are many legends and stories about that forest. If we all tell them, we may not be able to finish them in 3 days and 3 nights. Have you heard of a family entering the forest and turning into bones? Chen Yi thought for a while. Yes. It's just that it took over 20 years for something to happen. Over 20 years, how could it be so short? Then tell me this story. There are some differences between what Chen Yi said and what the innkeeper said, but they are generally the same. Chen Yi said that the passerby quickly fled the house after seeing the bones gnawing on people. However, the next day, they still found the body of the passerby, which was very different from the usual body. Half of the body had completely decayed into white bones, while the other half still preserved the appearance of a living person. At that time, everyone also felt very strange, but the government searched for several days without any news. After the incident, the family miraculously disappeared. The villagers circulated among themselves, saying that the household was a monster in the forest and would go back to the forest if they ate someone. In the end, the case could only be closed so early. After all, the government did not find anything. As soon as Yu Shiqi was about to lie down and rest, he received a decree from the government stating that something had happened in the Zeng mansion and asking him to come over. Can her soul still gather? A small red mist gathered in the hands of the black hat. Originally, Madame's soul had gathered almost, but it was scattered again. It's not easy to gather again now. I am willing to pay any price as long as we can gather together. Mr. Zeng carefully took the red mist from the black hat in his hand. Remember, the midnight after 3 days is the last chance. If anything unexpected happens, I can't help you anymore. Yu Shiqi arrived at the Zeng mansion, and indeed, he could only enter under the leadership of the people in the Zeng mansion. 2 corpses surrounded by red mist emitted a strong stench, which wafted throughout the entire Zeng mansion, making people outside hate to immediately leave. Yu Gongzi, you're here. Pu Kuai breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Yu Shiqi. Initially, Yushichi and Lu Jiangnan went to the government to seek a false position as a case assistant for the sake of convenience. They will provide certain assistance to the government when handling cases, and the government will also inform them of the information they have found. They will be involved in any bizarre cases that the government cannot handle. The seventh prince is here. Just as Yushichi was about to use his spiritual power to examine the body, a voice rang in their ears. Xiao Jinggu received the news from the Lingwei department and rushed over. Master, why don't you go to the Zeng mansion? After hearing that Xiao Jinggu and Yushichi were both rushing to the Zeng mansion, Lin Luya not only didn't worry, but also leisurely brewed tea. They all went. What am I going for? Besides, what are so many people going to the Zeng mansion for? Besides, he was also injured by the power of the Zeng mansion, and going now will inevitably expose his identity. Speaking of which, this Zeng mansion is also strange. Strange, what kind of strange method? There are a total of 7 children in the Zeng family, but none of them are legitimate children. In this era of clothing and food, there is nothing strange about having a few more children. What's strange about this? This is not particularly strange, but the master of the Zeng family, Zeng Ming, had 4 legitimate wives, all of whom mysteriously disappeared while pregnant. No one reported the incident in Zeng's mansion. I reported it, but no matter how much I checked, there was no result. Later on, I had to give up. In addition, once my wife went missing, Zeng Ming would take his wife's maid as a concubine, and no one would pursue anything further. Does Zeng Ming have a woman she likes? It's best if she has a deep teenage affection. Lin Luya suddenly became a little curious about this Zeng Ming. Once, his first legitimate wife returned to Hai Zixin. Gue Hai, the surname of Dongli. More than a decade ago, Tianling and Dongli reached a peace agreement, and the two countries encouraged their people to move and learn from each other in order to enhance friendship. It is not uncommon for Zeng Ming to marry a woman from Dongli. Zeng Ming and Gue Hai Zixin are both disciples of the Xuandu immortal sect, and have grown up together since childhood. Naturally and passionately, they fell in love with each other. Zeng Ming is the second son of the Xuandu immortal sect. Yeah, Zeng Ming went to Xuandu immortal sect to learn martial arts earlier. I just don't know how he was expelled from the sect in the end. So Gue Hai Zixin was also expelled from the school. I'm not sure about this, I only know that Zeng Ming was expelled from the sect, and Gue Hai Zixin's whereabouts are unknown. By the time the world discovered their whereabouts, she was already Zeng Ming's wife. In order to avoid the sect, they came to Anqing in Tianling Kingdom, which is where we are now. Fan Jing only knows these things, and as for the stories of Zeng Ming and Gue Hai Zixin, they probably know them best. Chazing Mansion. Do you want to Chazing Mansion? Yu Qinglan has been searching Taoyuan Mountain and the forest behind it, but she has forgotten that there is another Zeng Mansion. No, I want you to investigate their days at Xuandu Immortal Sect and the reason why Zeng Ming was expelled from Xuandu Immortal Sect. Okay. I'll let them investigate. What Yu Qinglan should have thought of earlier was how the place that could harm Lin Luya could be a simple one. Lin Luya didn't let Yu Qinglan investigate before because he felt that the power was too dangerous and shouldn't have allowed Yu Qinglan to take risks. Now that he wants her to investigate Zeng Ming's situation in Xuandu Xianshan, there shouldn't be any danger. Lin Luya may not be as good as Yu Qinglan in terms of information retrieval. Okay, I'll let you know when I have news. Her observation tower is still too small, and the information available is limited. The red mist around the corpse quickly dispersed before their eyes. They had intended to follow the red mist to find something, but it disappeared completely outside the city. What have you experienced? Why are you so haggard? Lu Jiangnan saw Yushichi with a melancholy face as soon as she entered the door. Have you finished your business? I won't be able to come back if I don't handle it properly. Miss you, there is a child outside the door who says he wants to see you. Do you want me to go out with you? Yushichi asked. No need, I'm just going out the door for a moment. Yu Qinglan followed the reporter to the door, only to find that there was no one there. Maybe someone was teasing me. The little boy squatting next to the stone lion saw someone coming out and walked up to her, saying, "Are you Sister Yu Qinglan?" A 7 or 8-year-old boy looked up at Yu Qinglan. "It's me." "What's up, kid?" The little boy stuffed a piece of paper into Yu Qinglan. "This is what an older sister asked me to give to you." After saying that, the little boy walked away. "Kill you little bastard." Yu Qinglan followed the information on the paper and came to a small alley. Before she could enter, she heard the curse sound. Yu Qinglan followed the sound and arrived at the entrance of a restaurant, where a group of people were beating around a young man. "Stop it." Yu Qinglan rushed into the crowd and protected the person. The group of people stopped their hands when they saw Yu Qinglan and said, "Girl, I see you're dressed quite well. You're a woman from a good family. It's better not to get involved in these things. No matter what, you shouldn't hit someone," said Yu Qinglan. "He stole our mantu, can't we beat him?" one shouted angrily. "I didn't steal it, I picked it up." Mantu fell to the ground carelessly. "We didn't say no to it. I'll give you the price of mantu." "Sister, please save my sister. I just saved you on the way, and now I have urgent matters to deal with. I don't have that much time to save people." Yu Qinglan has never been a good person. She saved the boy because she felt it was within her own power. "Please save my sister. It won't take much time to save her, just a little bit of time." "Is your sister sick?" Yu Qinglan asked. After being stunned for a while, the young man replied, "How did you know?" "In this case, it's usually because he's sick." "Let's go, I'll go help you hire a doctor." "She doesn't understand medicine, so it's useless to go." When Yu Qinglan passed by a steamed bun shop, something suddenly came to her mind. "How many children are there in your area?" The young man thought for a moment and replied, "There are 18. "Boss, give me 36 mantu." 36. The boss confirmed with Yu Qinglan again. "Well, 30.6, I'll come over and pick them up later." Yu Qinglan followed her memory and arrived at the previous pharmacy. The doctor of the pharmacy saw Yu Qinglan and warmly said, "Miss, why are you here again? Did that young master's injury worsen?" "No, his injury is almost healed. I'm doing it for something else today." "What's going on?" "I want to ask the doctor to help me take care of someone." Yu Qinglan calculated that there shouldn't be much money, so she left 2 taels of silver for the doctor, including the cost of medicine. "Take these 30.6 mantu and give them to the children, 2 for each." Yu Qinglan handed the 30.6 mantu to the boy. Yu Qinglan asked the doctor to treat the young girl, while she went to do her own thing. After arriving at the agreed location, Yu Qinglan found that Sun Miao was already waiting for her. "Sun Miao, you called me out for that matter." "Master, your Highness 7 has arrived." Lin Luya put down his tea and asked why he came here. "Luya, why are you not in a hurry at all?" These days, Ling Wei Si has been running around without even time to rest. "Isn't it because of your Lingwei department in Xianwei Valley? Besides, your court has taken action, and it's a bit inconvenient for us martial arts sects to handle it." Lin Luya only recently heard that Xianwei Valley has already collaborated with the local government. Now it seems that only their kingshimen have not cooperated with the officials. "Who said it's inconvenient for you to act? Your kingshimen are an existence that even my father and emperor respect." "How many years ago was that? By the way, do you know that Ji Yanli is also here?" "Ji Yanli, isn't he in the imperial capital? How could he be here?" Xiao Jinggu remembered that Ji Yanli was in the imperial capital. How could he suddenly run here? Not only Ji Yanli, but also several nobles and nobles from the imperial capital are here, such as Li Qihuai. They may have arrived here earlier than us. What are they doing here? There should be something they are interested in here, right? Chapter 8. Returning to the Sea Without a Home. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xiao Jinggu didn't see the figure of Yu Qinglan for a long time and said, "Why haven't you seen Miss Yu? She naturally lives with her brother. What are you doing with me?" Yu Shiqi and they have been investigating cases together these days, but she hasn't seen Yu Qinglan either. Lin Luya stayed inside all day, thinking that Yu Qinglan would come to find him. "Your Highness, the Anqing patrol has asked you to come over," said the person outside the door. "What is Anqing's patrol looking for him for?" "Luya, then I'll leave first." Lin Luya opened the window and saw that Xiao Jinggu had already walked away. "Come out, he's gone." Yu Qinglan slowly walked out from behind the curtain. "Qinglan, did you find something?" Lin Luya poured a cup of tea and handed it to Yu Qinglan. "We have found some information about the Zeng family. I think it may be useful to you." At the beginning, Anqing did not have this Zeng mansion, but only later on, and the origin of the Zeng mansion has always been a mystery. It was not until later that someone dug up the origin of the Zeng mansion. Years ago, injured Zeng Ming and his wife returned to the sea and settled here with Zixin. But there were no impermeable walls in the sky and underground, and their sect quickly found this place. They were forced to flee into the forest behind Taoyuan mountain, feeling helpless. The members of the sect discovered their bodies in the mountains and were just about to return to the sect to report. They had just walked out of the mountains when they were stopped by a dark shadow. After seeing the black shadow clearly, everyone was startled. The black shadow is not a person or an object, but a skeleton. The white bone turned into a human shape before their eyes, just like the dead Zeng Ming. He killed everyone present at lightning speed again, and since then no one from the sect has come to find him. After leaving the dense forest, he came to Anqing to settle down. After coming out of the dense forest, his whole personality changed greatly, as if he had forgotten his wife's return to the sea, Purple Heart, overnight. In the second month, he married his second wife Wei Qianqian, and shortly thereafter, his wife Wei Qianqian became pregnant. The servants in the mansion thought they would have a young lady or young master in the near future, but Wei Cixi mysteriously disappeared when she was 8 months pregnant. Zeng Ming probably accepted Wei Qianqian's personal maid Zhu Yuan as his concubine after her disappearance to seal her in-laws. Not long after, Zeng Ming married the daughter of a butcher in Anqing. His wife, like the previous wife, mysteriously disappeared after 8 months of pregnancy. Zeng Ming's wife kept repeating this ending, and no one was able to successfully give birth to a child. As long as it is his legitimate wife, she will definitely disappear once she is 8 months pregnant, and so far 3 legitimate wives have mysteriously disappeared. The government was also powerless in this regard. At the beginning, they suspected Zeng Ming, but when his wife was 7 months old, they arrested him and sent people to take turns guarding him. But his wife still mysteriously disappeared, and under pressure, they could only let go of Zeng Ming. As long as the child of the Zeng family is not the legitimate wife, it can be born normally. Lin Luya couldn't understand why the child of the legitimate wife couldn't be born, but the child of the concubine could be born. Not bad, and all 3 of his concubines are close maids of his 3 legitimate wives. Yu Qinglan also wondered why the legitimate wife's child would not be born, while the concubines would definitely be born safely as long as they were pregnant. "Have you found any information about Zeng Ming before he came here?" Zeng is one of the largest surnames in Dongli, and his real name is Zeng Ming. His parents hoped that he could become a noble and upright gentleman, and Zeng Ming did not disappoint their hopes. At the age of 7, he successfully entered the second highest cultivation sect in the world, the Xuandu Immortal Sect, for cultivation. Zeng Ming's master, Yan Suzhenren, is one of the top experts in the Xuandu Immortal Sect, and coupled with Zeng Ming being his first disciple, his demands on him have become stricter. Although Zeng Ming has exceptional talent, he has a strong competitive and jealous heart. Seeing that his master was gentle towards other disciples but extremely harsh towards him, I felt that his master was jealous of his talent and opposed him everywhere. Zengming began to be dissatisfied with his master's behavior and searched for his master's affairs everywhere. His master often gets so angry that he can't eat or sleep well. When he was punished by his master for kneeling or physical punishment, a person appeared to accompany him day and night, which deeply moved him. This person is his first wife, Gue Hai Zixin. Afterwards, Zengming wanted to become a strong person below 1 person and above 10,000 people. Stealing the treasure of the Xuandu immortal sect late at night, Xuandu immortal sect quickly took measures upon discovering it. After 3 months of investigation, the treasure was successfully retrieved. Zengmingzi, due to his strong desire, developed a demon in his heart. He shamelessly slaughtered creatures in the world under the name of the Xuandu immortal sect. The Xuandu immortal sect had to send people again to deal with the mess left by Zengming, and ensure that all major sects are eradicated. The people of Zeng Mansion also claimed to the outside world that the Zeng family would not protect Zengming upon hearing these things. Zengming changed his Ming of tomorrow to Ming of chirping in order to survive. He hid here, but the Xuandu immortal sect was also prepared to let him go and chased him all the way to this place. The rest of the matter now aligns with what just happened. Why don't the people here know the origin of Zengming? Don't Tianling care? They can rest assured to keep such a dangerous person here. At first, Tianling was in charge, but after Zengming entered the dense forest, they all thought that Zengming had died. In addition, there was also a prominent family surnamed Zeng in Jiangnan. Tianling had always thought that Anqing Zeng Mansion was a branch of Jiangnan Zeng Mansion, but did not pay much attention to it. Moreover, when Zengming settled there, there were not many people. Anqing also began to develop after Zengming arrived. The people in Anqing regarded him as a great benefactor, so how could they doubt his background? The stargazing tower also put in a lot of effort to find out these news. By the way, I learned that Zengming goes to Taoyuan Mountain once a month. I haven't found out the specific reason yet. Taoyuan Mountain. According to information found by Lin Luya, Taoyuan Mountain connects that forest with Anqing. Anqing did not have this mountain before it developed. Later, for some unknown reason, a wealthy businessman took over this mountain and planted a large number of peach blossoms, naming it Taoyuan Mountain, for visitors to visit. How about I go to Taoyuan Mountain to take a look? Yu Qinglan became increasingly curious about Taoyuan Mountain. Can we find something useful in Taoyuan Mountain? Lin Luya happened to be going to Taoyuan Mountain, so she came to Taoyuan Mountain with Yu Qinglan. The feeling of being stared at is finally gone, it's just replaced by another breath. As soon as Xiao Jinggu arrived halfway up the mountain, he saw the two of them. What a coincidence, you're also here at Taoyuan Mountain. Xiao Jinggu was called by the Anqing governor, how could he appear here? The governor's people said they want to take me here to relax. There was a hot spring deep in Taoyuan Mountain, and the owner of the mountain built a Taoyuan villa next to the hot spring to provide them with entertainment. The hot springs in the mountains not only relieve fatigue but also provide beauty and beauty benefits. Many people come here to soak in hot springs during their leisure time. It's not surprising that the governor brought Xiao Jinggu here. You came here because we have found some interesting things and want to come here to verify them. Lin Luya has no reservations about Xiao Jinggu. As the prince, he is not someone who enjoys scheming and won't harm others for his own benefit. Can you bring me one? Aren't you going to relax? Business matters, it's not too late to relax when this case is over. In recent days, the bandits in Jiangnan have relaxed a lot under the suppression of the court, and at least no one has died among them. They walked along the corridor to the place where the villa owner lived, and the several paintings on the walls immediately caught the attention of Yu Qinglan. She always feels that these few paintings are strange, how could anyone overlap them together? What's wrong, are there any issues with these paintings? Do you think it's normal to overlap several paintings together? Yu Qinglan looked at the painting and asked. Who would overlap paintings together? Painting is an essential part of the scholarly family, and many literati consider it a treasure. Even if rolled up, it will not open and overlap together. Can you take a look at these paintings? Several paintings on the wall were all overlapping, revealing only a small corner, making it easy to see that they were stacked together. And I also saw a woman in the painting. Woman. Xiao Jinggu and Lin Luya both glanced at each other. Why didn't they see the woman, only the ink painting? Are you sure you saw a woman? Lin Luya looked for a long time but didn't see the woman in the painting. They tried again with their spiritual power but did not see the woman. I'm sure, Yu Qinglan replied confidently. Can you still see it? Lin Luya asked after removing one pair. Yes, it's just a bit lighter than before. Xiao Jinggu put the painting back in its original place and searched for it in the room for a while. Except for that painting, everything else was normal. Take me out, Yu Qinglan heard a gentle female voice in her ear as she was preparing to leave. Have you heard a woman's voice? No. Xiao Jinggu listened carefully for a while before answering decisively. Don't mention the voice of a woman, he didn't even hear the sound of mosquitoes. Lin Luya cautiously used his spiritual power to explore the surroundings, but did not find anything suspicious. Qinglan, what did you hear? Yu Qinglan's head seemed to have been hit by something, and she covered her head and squatted down. You leave quickly, if you don't leave, there won't be enough time. The voice in Yu Qinglan's mind kept circulating over and over again. Let's go, get out of here. Miss you, what else are you saying? Xiao Jinggu helped Yu Qinglan stand up. It's too late, hurry up, the voice in her mind roared. They were about to leave when a burst of red smoke hit them. The power in the red smoke was the one that attacked Lin Luya in the beginning. They gradually lost consciousness surrounded by the red mist. The lake is quiet, like a mirror, printing out a blue sky. The sky thanked the lake for its beauty, so it generously distributed its unique blue color to the lake, and from then on, the lake also put on blue clothes. The sunlight in the sky passed through the treetops in order to see the lake on the ground and landed next to the lake. A mischievous beam of sunlight caught sight of several new creatures by the lake, and it took a lot of effort to land next to them. Xiao Jinggu opened his eyes slightly, and a new world slowly unfolded before his eyes. Beautiful mountains, gentle lake water, tall trees. Xiao Jinggu remembered what happened last night and immediately sat up, searching for the figures of Yu Qinglan and Lin Luya. Miss you, Luya. In his call, Lin Luya detached herself from unrealistic dreams. I'm here. Xiao Jinggu lifted Lin Luya and saw Yu Qinglan not far away. A blurry figure walked towards Yu Qinglan, and it was only when she walked in that Yu Qinglan realized it was a woman. The woman leaned slightly over Yu Qinglan's side. The little girl who returned to the sea, Purple Heart, has seen the Mountain Moon Immortal Lord. As Yu Qinglan was preparing to return her salute, the woman who claimed to be returning to the sea, Purple Heart, suddenly knelt in front of her. Immortal Lord, don't break the evil spirit of the little girl. Yu Qinglan quickly pulled her up, she was never accustomed to others kneeling on her. You are. I don't like others kneeling on me. Upon hearing Yu Qinglan say she didn't like it, Gue Hai Zixin stood up. Immortal Lord, may I ask you something, young lady? Sorry, may I not be able to handle this? Yu Qinglan decisively declined. She doesn't even know where she is now and how to help others. Upon seeing her refusal, Gue Hai Zixin knelt silently in front of her. Immortal Lord, no one else can help me except you, Yu Qinglan refused as she pulled her up. She really can't help her now. Get up first. Unless the Immortal Lord agrees to help the little girl, she will never get up. In fact, within her strength range, she may help, but it is obvious that Gue Hai Zixin's request for her is definitely not within her strength range. What's up first? Let me see if I can help you. Yu Qinglan finally let go. Shan Yu Xian Zun, can you kill Zheng Ming from Anqingzing Mansion for me? If Yu Qinglan remembers correctly, Gui Hai Zixin was Zheng Ming's first wife and also his favorite woman. How could she think of killing him? Aren't you his wife? Why did you kill him? Gui Hai Zixin looked up at the sky. Yeah, that's why I wanted to kill him. Besides, he shouldn't have existed in the world long ago, just a bunch of insects and ants. I know you found a lot of things, but at most, only half of what you found is true. Yu Qinglan naturally believed that the stargazing tower would not give him false information. Those things have all been processed by them, so naturally you can't find anything, Gui Hai Zixin smiled. After listening to Gui Hai Zixin's unfortunate encounter, Yu Qinglan sympathized with her. I'm sorry, I can't kill Zheng Ming for you. I don't even have spiritual power. No matter how you ask me to kill him, you can't even kill him. How could an ordinary person without spiritual power kill him? No, you have spiritual power. Gui Hai Zixin came to find Yu Qinglan only after seeing her spiritual power, but now she says she doesn't have spiritual power. I have never discovered spiritual power since I was young. If Yu Qinglan had spiritual power, she would not have stayed here long ago. Chapter 9. Underworld Escape. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Impossible, I have clearly seen a very powerful spiritual power in you. Gui Hai Zixin wouldn't be mistaken. That should be the magical tool they gave me, right? Yu Qinglan thought for a while and replied. His father never allowed her to learn about spiritual power, even though she would secretly learn some, she didn't know how to cultivate spiritual power. I won't read it wrong, Gui Hai Zixin repeatedly affirmed. After Gui Hai Zixin finished speaking, she gradually disappeared, and Yu Qinglan stood alone, letting a layer of darkness engulf her. Miss Yu, wake up. As Yu Qinglan was about to be devoured by darkness, she suddenly heard someone calling her. Who is it? Who is calling me? Yu Qinglan followed her voice and vaguely saw Xiao Jinggu and Lin Luya. Miss Yu, have you finally woken up? Is there anything uncomfortable? Xiao Jinggu saw that Yu Qinglan's eyebrows moved and asked. I'm okay. Yu Qinglan looked around at the unfamiliar environment and asked, where is this? We don't know either. Xiao Jinggu just looked at the map in his hand and found that the things on the map didn't match the ones here at all. By the way, why haven't I seen Luya? Yu Qinglan remembered that Lin Luya was also sucked in like them. He has found his way, see if there is no way out here. Yu Qinglan looked at the lake ahead and suddenly had a familiar feeling, as if she had seen the lake somewhere before. Did you find anything? Xiao Jinggu asked eagerly as he saw Lin Luya coming back. No, no one has been here for a long time. Lin Luya wandered around for a while but didn't find anything useful. Not to mention the road, he couldn't even find a deserted path. It's very quiet here, not even a bird's call can be heard. There are many strange wild fruits in the mountains. If they really can't get out, they can still survive by relying on the wild fruits in the mountains. After circling around the mountains, the three of them returned to the lake. Have you seen the stone tablets by the lake? I've read it, but we can't understand the text on it. Xiao Jinggu discovered the lake at the beginning. Can I go over and take a look? Maybe I can understand. As soon as Yu Qinglan approached the stone tablet, the plants around it emitted a silver light. Although the silver light was weak, it could still illuminate the words on the stone tablet. Mingxing Lake used to be called Mingxing Lake. Can you understand the text above? Lin Luya and Xiao Jinggu studied there for a while but couldn't understand what was written on it. Unexpectedly, Yu Qinglan knew the content at a glance. I can indeed read and understand the text above. She herself didn't know why she could understand the text above. This forest is called Derivative Dense Forest, and has been inhabited by a race called Shuyuan Protoss for generations. But 100 years ago, the sacrifices in the tribe calculated that they would have a disaster, so they moved. They were worried that those who accidentally entered this secret forest would not find their way out, so they left this stone tablet in their writing to guide them. The stone tablet shows that walking along the west side of the lake during the day, you will see a river, and below the river, there is a road leading to the outside. Are we going to find that river now? Xiao Jinggu asked. Not now. The stone tablet says that the river can only be found during the day, and it cannot be found at night. Moreover, the stone tablet also says that it is very dangerous in the forest at night, so don't walk around casually. Have you heard any strange sounds? Xiao Jinggu seemed to hear the sound of wolves, but also the sound of tigers. I heard it. It's like the sound of a wolf, and it's like the sound of a tiger. Are they two types of animals? After hearing these sounds, the glowing plants around them disappeared instantly. Only the lake water is still emitting a faint blue light. But this blue light can only reflect the appearance of the lake, and cannot even make them see things clearly. As soon as Lin Luya's fire switch emitted its glow, it was blown into the lake by a gust of wind, and now they have nothing more than the only thing they can see. The moonlight in the sky is bright, but it is blocked by layers of branches. When it falls to the ground, there are only speckled shadows. Now they can only barely see each other's positions. Let's get closer to each other. Sure. At present, that's all we can do. A wolf emitted a red gaze under the moonlight. The wolf's gaze happened to be seen by Jiangnan. Look, is there a wolf over there? Not just one. Countless wolves' eyes lit up in front of them. No, this is not a wolf at all, Lin Luya corrected. There is no such tall wolf in the world. Just now, these things were lying down, so they looked like wolves. Now, these things stand up much taller than normal adult men. Go to the lake. A voice rang in Jiangnan's heart. Go to the lake, said Jiangnan before she could say this. A terrible voice sounded around them. It seems that we have little dim sum after dinner today. Ow ow ow, their heads exploded in an instant, and the two of them, who had the power of World War I, were also directly defeated by this voice. On the contrary, Jiangnan was not as serious as them. These things can talk, so they are not ordinary beasts, but the monsters mentioned in the book. Monsters, how could there be monsters in this place? Monsters shouldn't be here. What exactly is this derived dense forest? Lin Luya also did not expect the existence of demon beasts here. Generally, there are no people living within a radius of 100 miles where there are demon beasts. And not far away is a city, how could these monsters be left unattended? Is it possible that these monster beasts are causing trouble in Jiangnan, but how do they combine with the mountain bandits? Or is it true that those mountain bandits are powerful and demonized human forms? A series of questions arose in Xiao Jinggu's mind. Be careful, before he could react, he was pierced through by a beast's bone. Oh, it's so boring to die so soon, a seductive female voice sounded before Xiao Jinggu fell. He heard Jiangnan calling him, but he couldn't respond and let his body fall in front of her. She must think I'm weak. In less than a cup of tea, Lin Luya also collapsed in front of her. Don't rush to eat first, wait until you've solved them all before eating. The little demon, who was just about to pounce and bite, heard this sound and stopped biting, slowly retreating. I can't believe that after 100 years, I can still see humans here. Jiangnan didn't look up to see what was speaking. While helping Xiao Jinggu bandage his wound, she was thinking about how to snatch Lin Luya from the monster's side. At this moment, Jiangnan felt that the short distance of a few steps was so far. Although Lin Luya was not far from her, she couldn't bring him over. Oh, the Mingxing Lake is so lively today. A strange voice rang out again in the mountains and forests. A crow of only 2 people stopped on the stone tablet, looking down at the tiger and wolf demon from a high position. Jiangnan took advantage of their opposition and quickly ran to Lin Luya's side. On the way, Jiangnan accidentally saw two snake heads growing on the crow's body. Why are you here instead of staying in the cave? Or do you want to be my food again? It's not easy for us to have only a few humans here. How can you eat alone? Jiangnan quietly pulled Lin Luya over during their free time during their conversation. After seeing it, the little demon quickly stopped, but it was too late. The big demon didn't care at all, because they believed that even if Jiangnan brought Lin Luya together, it would be a waste of effort. Anyway, they would all be treated as small desserts after dinner. After probing Lin Luya's breathing, Jiangnan quickly bandaged his wound. How can we drag the two of them into the lake? They are very close to the lake, and if they are not injured, they only need to jump back to get into the lake. Now both of them are injured, and Jiangnan also has a slight injury, which naturally cannot be achieved. Why are there so many demon beasts in this mountain? I can't kill them all. Li Qihui exerted all his strength to kill the last demon beast that rushed towards him. There are hidden treasures in the mountains, and it's normal to have monsters guarding them. They were about to relax when a group of monsters attacked them again. Jiangnan vaguely saw Xiao Jinggu's body moving towards the lake, and turned to see that Lin Luya was also slowly moving, only slowly, so slow that it was difficult to notice. The two monster beasts seemed to have reached some kind of agreement, and they looked at Jiangnan in unison. If you want them to survive, hold them down. A soft voice rang in her ear. The monster also noticed them moving at this moment, desperately attacking them. Jiangnan didn't have time to hesitate, picked up the sword on the ground, and protected them behind her. They were getting closer and closer to the lake, but Jiangnan was seriously injured in the battle with the monster. Oh, this little girl is much more powerful than those two people just now. She was able to hold a cup of tea in the hands of the two kings for a while. The seductive female voice rang out again. Unfortunately, none of you can run today. A beautiful woman suddenly appeared in front of Jiangnan. Jiangnan picked up the sword in her hand and stabbed at the female demon. The female demon is not a vegetarian either. When she saw her sword, she quickly dodged her attack. What are you talking to her about? I finally saw a woman and naturally wanted to chat with her, the witch coquettishly walked up to the wolf leader. If you don't take action again, the meat in your mouth will fly away, the crow roared discontentedly. Jiangnan looked at the two of them who had already been half submerged in water, and felt less uneasy in her heart. Jiangnan looked at countless feathers flying towards her, and it seemed that she was doomed today. Jiangnan exerted her last bit of strength to block these feathers, but they still made countless cuts on her body. I thought you were so powerful. You couldn't even stop me, a weak woman without spiritual power. You're not so powerful. As soon as they got angry, Jiangnan was sure to find their weakness. When the surrounding monsters heard this sentence, they all let out a whimpering cry, and the two big demons, who were leaders, rushed directly towards her. The power of all spirits, sealed with my body. In an instant, she saw a woman standing under the rolling thunder, saying the same thing. The power of all spirits converges with my body, enlightening. A powerful spiritual wave intimidated the advancing monster. A sword with a scattered white light appeared in front of Jiangnan. What a powerful spiritual fluctuation. The monsters looked at the current Jiangnan and knew they couldn't get the upper hand, so they all fled. These are all spiritual beasts who, like humans, choose to save their lives. After the monster left, Jiangnan finally spat out the blood in her mouth. The world spun in her mind, and with a single breath of support, she stumbled towards the lake. After realizing that there was no danger, the previously hidden plants revealed their figures. They surrounded Jiangnan, as if they were caring for her and comforting her. She saw her body covered in blood and her sword stained with blood from the lake. Jiangnan seemed to have encountered something furry, and in her final consciousness, she saw a cat licking her hand. Once you have obtained this spiritual power, don't forget your mission. Mission, what is my mission? I just want to go back to where I belong. You will understand your mission. The darkness around Jiangnan gradually dissipated, and she saw Xiao Jinggu standing in front of her, smiling and saying, "Qinglan, let's go home." "Why are you the only one, Luya?" Yu Qinglan asked. Xiao Jinggu lightly poked Yu Qinglan's forehead. "You forgot, Luya is no longer here." "How could it be?" Yu Qinglan looked at Xiao Jinggu with an incredulous expression on her face. "You forgot, when Luya was spawning a dense forest, he went alone to fight against monsters to save us. We hid in the Underworld lake before escaping. When we found Luya, he only had a sword and a few bones left. Is it like this?" Yu Qinglan can't remember what happened that day, but is it really like this? Xiao Jinggu saw that Yu Qinglan didn't believe it, so he took out Lin Luya's sword. "You see, we've been keeping his sword all along. At that time, you cried for a long time holding his sword." Yu Qinglan took Lin Luya's sword with half a doubt. She remembered that Lin Luya would carry this sword every time he went out, and every time she saw Lin Luya, he would hold this sword in his hand. "Where is Luya's burial place? I want to go and worship." Xiao Jinggu tapped her head again and said, "We just finished our worship today. Why do you want to go again?" "What day?" "Yeah, it's just that you suddenly fainted during yesterday's worship, so I'll have my servants bring you back first." "I still want to go see him now," Yu Qinglan's voice involuntarily lowered. Xiao Jinggu saw her persistence and agreed to her request. "Okay then. Let's pack up and set off." They arrived at a place with beautiful mountains and waters, but Yu Qinglan felt anxious. "It's here." A stone tomb appeared in front of them. The tomb of Xianwei Gulin and Luya. Yu Qinglan always thinks these words are strange. Is Lin Luya from Xianwei Valley? Xiao Jinggu placed the offerings he brought in front of the monument and immediately poured a glass of wine. "Luya, we're coming to see you." Yu Qinglan knelt down next to Xiao Jinggu. She wanted to say something nostalgic, but couldn't say anything. Xiao Jinggu saw that Yu Qinglan's expression was not right and asked gently. "What's wrong, you're feeling unwell again?" Yu Qinglan shook her head and said, "It's okay. Why didn't you say a word to Luya just now?" Recalling when Yu Qinglan knelt in front of the tomb just now, she seemed to have a lot to say but didn't say a word. Yu Qinglan looked at the green mountains and waters on the road and couldn't help but marvel at the changes in the world. She used to take Lin Luya and her to play on the mountain, but now she sleeps alone on the mountain forever, with a new person by her side. "I know that your husband and wife have a stronger relationship, but you must move forward. Did Lin Luya and I get married? Why do I have no impression at all?" Yu Qinglan is becoming increasingly confused. How could she possibly marry Lin Luya? How did I get married to him? Xiao Jinggu also looked at Yu Qinglan with a shocked expression. She even forgot about her marriage with Lin Luya. It seemed that she was really sick. "You were people who liked each other from the beginning, and with the support of your parents, you got married." Yu Qinglan couldn't help but feel that Xiao Jinggu's smile was more unsightly than her tears. "Do I really like Lin Luya?" Yu Qinglan kept asking herself in her heart. Why does he feel so vague about everything? Has she really experienced these things? "Miss you, I am Honglian." Xiao Jinggu did say he wanted to call a maid to be her servant, probably the one in front of him. "Master, Miss Yu has been mourning for 5 years. Since you have promised her, why not?" "Shut up," Xiao Jinggu immediately sternly stopped his subordinate's words. "Luya is my best brother, how can I portrait his wife?" Xiao Jinggu looked at the painting on the wall, his voice decreasing. "Since the master doesn't have this kind of idea, let's take out the painting of Miss Yu. Otherwise, it would hurt more and more as I put it here." Xiao Jinggu glanced at the subordinate before he closed his mouth. He promised Luya to take good care of Qinglan, so he will definitely not break his promise. "Miss Yu, This is the lotus seed soup I specially made. You can try it. Yu Qinglan took the lotus seed soup from Honglian's hand. Honglian, do you know where my brother is? I miss him a bit. I'm just saying that Miss Yu has been feeling homesick these days. It turns out she's homesick. Hong Lian doesn't even know where Yu Qinglan's brother is, she doesn't even know if he has a brother. Miss Yu, you should ask the young master about this. When did I just come? I'm not even familiar with the terrain here yet. Hong Lian put the bowl of lotus seed soup in her lunchbox and took it down later. Miss Yu, let me take you out for a walk. Staying in the room every day will make you feel suffocated. After saying that, I cleaned up for Yu Qinglan. Red Lotus chose a red dress for Yu Qinglan. Yu Qinglan looked at the red dress and felt like she was wearing it somewhere, as if she had met someone in the red dress. However, as for who that person was, Yu Qinglan had no impression at all. Chapter 10. The mountain scenery is not spiritual. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Madam, let's go see the lotus flowers. The lotus flowers are blooming beautifully now, said Red Lotus, looking at Yu Qinglan with a worried expression on her face. The lotus flowers here bloom early, although it is only early summer now, they are almost open. What are you thinking? Xiao Jinggu saw Yu Qinglan lost in thought and walked up to her side, asking. Red Lotus quietly retreated when she saw Xiao Jinggu. Yu Qinglan was lost in thought when she was startled by the sudden appearance of Xiao Jinggu. Xiao Jinggu saw that his behavior frightened Yu Qinglan and quickly apologized to her. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's okay, I didn't notice the situation around me myself. It's all because she was too distracted. Xiao Jinggu saw that she had been staring at a lotus flower, so he went into the water and picked the lotus flower and handed it to Yu Qinglan. This is. Yu Qinglan didn't understand why he picked this flower and gave it to her. I think you really like this flower, so I want to pick it and give it to you. Yu Qinglan took the lotus from Xiao Jinggu's hand. But she doesn't really like this lotus flower. Yu Qinglan didn't know why she had to look at this flower for so long. Xiao Jinggu, I want to know how Lin Luya and I got married. Xiao Jinggu told her that she had known Lin Luya since childhood, grew up together, practiced martial arts together, played together, and over time, developed feelings. Yu Qinglan and Lin Luya's family were close friends, and both sides agreed on this marriage, so they got married. But why does Yu Qinglan feel that these things are not at all true? Yu Qinglan inserted the lotus flower sent by Xiao Jinggu in the most obvious place. She didn't understand why she did it, but her heart told her that it was right, and there was no need to know anything else. Later, Xiao Jinggu called a doctor to come and treat Yu Qinglan. Doctor, how's she doing? Why has she been forgetting things from before these days? The doctor put the pulse pillow back into the medicine box. Young master, there's no need to worry. This girl's health is not a problem. She's just staying indoors all year round feeling stuffy. You can take her out for a walk, maybe it'll be better. Xiao Jinggu called the doctor out of the door. There's nothing wrong with her health, so how could she forget about the past, even her own husband? The old doctor scratched his beard and said, I'm not sure about this old man either, but with years of medical expertise as a guarantee, the girl's health is indeed not a problem. Xiao Jinggu asked his subordinates to send the doctor out, while he returned to Yu Qinglan's room. Qinglan, are you feeling unwell? Since the doctor said there was no physical problem with her, could it be a mental problem? After all, physical illnesses are easy to treat, but mental illnesses are difficult to treat. Yu Qinglan and Lin Luya fell in love so much, but in the end, they were separated by yin and yang. This was indeed a significant blow to Yu Qinglan. Qinglan, I'll take you to the foot of the mountain to relax tomorrow. It's not a good idea for Yu Qinglan to stay indoors every day. Xiao Jinggu thought of a lantern festival at the foot of the mountain in 3 days and wanted to take her out to see it. Yu Qinglan did not respond to Xiao Jinggu, just pruned the flowers and plants in her hand on her own. Yu Qinglan handed the trimmed flowers to Xiao Jinggu. What are you doing down the mountain? There's nothing fun down there, why don't I cut more flowers and plants in this garden? For some reason, Yu Qinglan has been particularly interested in trimming flowers and plants these days. Don't you love liveliness the most? There will be a lantern festival at the foot of the mountain in 3 days. Lively, yes, Yu Qinglan's favorite thing in her life is liveliness. Okay, but I need to wear a red dress to go. You can wear anything, Xiao Jinggu said after receiving Yu Qinglan's approval. He went back to prepare for the relevant matters of tomorrow's departure. Yu Qinglan went back to the house to tidy up the things she needed. While she was collecting the things, a jade pendant fell out of her bag. Who gave her this jade pendant? It seems to be Xiao Jinggu, but Yu Qinglan can't remember clearly. Xiao Si in the inn was clearly surprised when he saw Xiao Jinggu. Young master, are you finally willing to come back? Xiao Si saw Yu Qinglan behind Xiao Jinggu and instantly knew why Xiao Jinggu had come back. Mrs. Lin, is this? Xiao Jinggu protected Yu Qinglan behind him and said, she came down with me to relax. Seeing Xiao Jinggu's behavior, Xiao Si knew that his young master still kept this widow in his heart. Young master, you haven't forgotten the bet with the master, have you? Ji Miss is a good girl, but she has a crush on someone who doesn't like her. The waiter felt sorry for the girl in his heart. I naturally won't forget this. Xiao Jinggu took Yu Qinglan's hand and said, let's go, I'll take you to eat something delicious. Yu Qinglan remembered the bet mentioned by Xiao Si. What bet did you make with your father? Xiao Jinggu picked up the dishes that Yu Qinglan liked and put them in her bowl. It's nothing. It's really nothing, Xiao Jinggu gently put down his chopsticks and said, when did I deceive you? Sorry, I can't even remember what happened before. Qinglan, do you still remember how we got to know each other? I can't remember. Yu Qinglan seemed to have forgotten many things. She only remembered what happened in the past few days, and had forgotten everything from a month ago. Xiao Jinggu felt a bit disappointed when he heard her answer, but he also pretended to be normal. Although it was an expected answer, he still felt disappointed. Yu Qinglan always felt that she wouldn't marry Lin Luya. How did they get married? Can you tell me the story between us? Who? I, you, and Luya. Yu Qinglan wanted to find clues from their story. Xiao Jinggu didn't want to tell her, there's nothing to tell about it. It was just some cliché D stories, what's there to tell? Of course, he was also worried that at some moment when he heard about Lin Luya, Yu Qinglan's finally better mood would return to its original state. Yu Qinglan saw that he insisted on not speaking, so she didn't ask him to speak. After finishing her meal, Yu Qinglan wanted to go for a lake tour again. The lake was covered with lanterns, and Yu Qinglan picked up one from it. Young lady, you are responsible to the owner of the lantern when you turn it on. Yu Qinglan walked over to the boatman with a lantern and flowers, saying, Uncle, how should we be responsible for this? After you open it and see someone else's wish, of course, you need to help the person who wrote the wish fulfill it. What if I can't achieve it? Then find someone who can help him fulfill his wishes to help you. Yu Qinglan instantly felt that the lantern in her hand had become extremely heavy. A gentle wind blew from the lake, blowing the lantern in her hand. It seemed that the wind wanted to fulfill the owner's wish for the lantern. The boatman chuckled and said, Little girl, this gentle breeze likes you. Yu Qinglan looked at the boatman with a puzzled expression, wondering how he knew who Qingfeng liked. Xiao Jinggu saw that the wind outside was getting stronger and stronger, so he took a robe and draped it over Yu Qinglan. A familiar figure flashed by on the shore, and Xiao Jinggu quickly asked the boatman to dock the ship. Xiao Jinggu followed his figure to a restaurant. When Xiao Jinggu chased after the restaurant, he happened to see him walk out of the restaurant through the back door. When Xiao Jinggu chased out, he only saw the crowded streets, and his figure disappeared into the vast sea of people. Yu Qinglan saw him in such a hurry and thought of waiting for him to come back on the street. She couldn't keep up with Xiao Jinggu's footsteps, so going there was also a drag. Yu Qinglan saw a little girl sitting on the ground selling dragonflies and grasshoppers. She asked forward, "How do you sell this dragonfly, little girl?" The little girl picked up the dragonfly and placed it in Yu Qinglan's hand. "Sister, this dragonfly has 2 essays and 1. Yu Qinglan handed the 2 essays to the little girl. "Did you make up these dragonflies and grasshoppers yourself, little girl?" "Some were made up by me, while others were made up by my mother." "What about your dad?" "Dad, I don't have a dad," the little girl's gaze darkened. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ask you this." Yu Qinglan realized the little girl didn't seem to take her words to heart either. "Sister, are you waiting for someone?" "Yeah, how did you know?" "Because I saw my sister standing there for a long time." "Sister, can you come and sit with me? Standing for too long will make your legs numb." The little girl took out a cushion and placed it next to her. Yu Qinglan smiled and said no more. Xiao Jinggu should be back soon. The little girl came out and pulled her in when she refused. "The people waiting for me, sister, should not come back for the time being. Sister, come and sit here and play a game with me." "I can't play alone." Yu Qinglan turned her head and saw that all adults were selling things, except for the busiest place where the little girl was. The little girl took out a box with different wooden signs inside. "This is the divine wooden sign here, so accurate." The little girl placed the wooden sign in front of Yu Qinglan. "Sister, choose one piece." Yu Qinglan chose the one closest to her with a skeptical attitude. The little girl picked up the wooden plaque, flipped it over, glanced at it, and handed it to Yu Qinglan. The wooden plaque is written in ancient Chinese characters. 10,000 years of return, there is a way back in another world. What does this mean? The little girl took the wooden card back and said, "I don't know either." She was only responsible for giving the wooden card to people to draw, and as for the meaning, it was up to the people who drew it to understand it themselves. "So, you're here," a burly man rushed towards the little girl. "When will your father's debt be repaid? If it's not repaid again, don't blame us for not being considerate." The burly man saw Yu Qinglan beside the little girl and groped his chin lewdly. "This woman is not bad. If we let her pay off the debt, we can do it." The little girl protected Yu Qinglan behind her. "This sister is here to rest, and our family matters have nothing to do with her. Whether it's related or not is not up to you." The burly man looked at Yu Qinglan and said, "Miss, you're unlucky to have met this family. Get out of here now, otherwise don't blame my subordinates for being ruthless." Yu Qinglan naturally wouldn't have a good tone towards those who were forced by Dudu. "Little girl, you're quite tough." Yu Qinglan effortlessly defeated the burly man. "I thought it was so powerful that it was also so vulnerable." The people around cast admiring gazes, as well as sympathetic glances. "Sister, hurry up and leave here these days, otherwise they won't let you go." Yu Qinglan stroked the little girl's head and said, "I'm not afraid of them." Xiao Jinggu saw that the figure had disappeared and thought that Yu Qinglan was still on the shore. He was worried that Yu Qinglan might have an accident on the shore, so he went back. As long as people are alive, they will definitely be able to see it, and there is no rush for this moment. Xiao Jinggu saw the burly man lying in front of Yu Qinglan and asked her with concern if there was anything wrong. "You're not injured, are you?" Xiao Jinggu's eager expression fell into Yu Qinglan's eyes. "I'm fine, have you found the person you were just looking for?" "No." After answering Yu Qinglan, he squatted down and looked at the burly man, asking, "What's going on?" The people on the street were full of chatter, and no one could explain. Xiao Jinggu could only make them stop and let the burly man speak on his own. The burly man stared at Xiao Jinggu without saying anything. "Step aside, my horse is out of control." Xiao Jinggu quickly pulled Yu Qinglan aside. As the horse was about to collide with a burly man, it was controlled at a critical moment. The person riding on horseback did not have the same good luck as a burly man and directly fell into the nearby lake. A piercing pain widened in Yuqinglan's heart. Has she almost been bumped into by someone? Qinglan, what's wrong with you? Xiao Jinggu saw Yuqinglan covering her head in pain and quickly picked her up to go find the doctor. Qinglan, are you awake? Xiao Jinggu stayed by Yuqinglan's side for 3 whole days before finally seeing her wake up. Qinglan, I have some good news for you. What? Just now someone came to report and saw Lin Luya. He's not dead. I know. You know, how did you know? Xiao Jinggu sent many people to inquire before getting the news that Lin Luya was not dead. How did you Qinglan know after lying down for 3 days? Because this is a false world, I know that you Qinglan naturally wouldn't say that. Do you say Lin Luya is from Xianwei Valley? Yes, he has always been a member of Xianwei Valley and has been studying in Xianwei Valley since childhood. Is there any problem with this? What about the Qingshimen and Lingweizi? What Qingshimen, what Lingweizi, Xiao Jinggu, to such a large extent, has never heard of these 2 sections. I have never heard of Qingshimen and Lingweizi. Have you never heard of it? Qinglan, you. Xiao Jinggu wanted to say something but then closed his mouth. Whatever you want to say, just say it. Anyway, it's already so outrageous in this false world, and there's nothing else that can't be said. Do you want to meet Luya? Where is he? Yu Qinglan also wanted to meet Lin Luya, who was in this virtual world. I'll take you there, Xiao Jinggu said with a smile, although he didn't want Yu Qinglan to meet Lin Luya. Okay, Yu Qinglan's small voice was amplified countless times and fell clearly into Xiao Jinggu's ear. He knew that Yu Qinglan would not come back with him as soon as he went. Lin Luya sat in the best private room, waiting for Yu Qinglan and Xiao Jinggu. 5 years ago, in order to protect Yu Qinglan and Xiao Jinggu from dealing with the beasts all over the mountain alone, when he was about to be killed by the beasts, a woman from the sky saved him. He followed the woman to recuperate, and this recuperation lasted for a full 5 years. I don't know how they have been these 5 years, whether they have been together or not. Forget it, Yu Qinglan is his nominal wife, and Xiao Jinggu is also a person who values love and righteousness. They should still be the same as before. Lin Luya has always known that Xiao Jinggu likes Yu Qinglan, but before, Yu Qinglan made a deal with him using a spiritual weapon in order to disobey his family's marriage alliance. He went to the Moon Mansion to propose marriage, and then they pretended to get married. If they met someone they liked, they could leave and pursue their own happiness. Why not explain the facts to Xiao Jinggu today? As for Yu Qinglan, he doesn't believe that under the company of Xiao Jinggu day and night, she won't be moved. The bartender at the restaurant took them to Lin Luya's private room and left. Lin Luya knew they were coming when she heard a knock on the door. Come on in. Yu Qinglan looked at Lin Luya, who was also looking at her. Long time no see, it's nice of you to come in, Xiao Jinggu replied with a smile, but Yu Qinglan didn't say anything. Lin Luya thought Yu Qinglan was angry when she saw that she had been silent for a long time. Sorry, I shouldn't have made you worry about the heat for so long. Yu Qinglan was not angry, she was just thinking about something. For example, how did this false spacetime come about and how can we break it? She now only knows that what's inside is completely unrelated to what's outside, even though everyone's identities are different. Xiao Jing and Gu Mingming were princes, but here he was a young master of a landlord's family. Lin Luya, who was clearly the head of the Qingshi sect, became an inconspicuous disciple of Xianwei Valley. She is even more outrageous. Mingming has 6 brothers and sisters in her family, where she has become an only child. Even if you become an only child, you are still a person in Xianwei Valley. Unconsciously, Lin Luya and Xiao Jinggu were almost finished talking, while Yu Qinglan was still thinking about other things. Lin Luya pulled Xiao Jinggu aside, and Yu Qinglan finally regained her senses. Because it was a bit far apart, Yu Qinglan couldn't hear what they were saying. Of course, she was not curious at all about these things, and now she only wants to know how to leave this false world. When Xiao Jinggu woke up, he kept looking for Yu Qinglan. The Shuhara Protoss could not persuade him, so they had to take him to Yu Qinglan's room. Yu Qinglan lay quietly on the bed, her powerful battles and injuries making her look particularly pale. What's wrong with her? Xiao Jinggu only remembered that when he fainted, Lin Luya was fighting monsters. Why did he and Lin Luya wake up, but Yu Qinglan didn't have any signs of waking up yet? Lin Luya's injury is much more serious than his, and he can't get out of bed yet, but at least he has also woken up. Miss, you should be worried about our family's protection array. At the beginning, some of the Shuyuan people moved out of here to find new places to live, while a small number remained. A large number of people have moved out, and the strength of Shuyuan Protoss is not as good as before. The remaining tribe members, in order to protect themselves, set up a maze in the place where they lived. Once they entered this maze, it was difficult to get out. The things in the mirror have nothing to do with the real world. Once you step into the mirror, the memories you carry will be changed, and you can only live according to your existing memories. And there is only one lost mirror, and the memories in the lost mirror will be completely lost. There are two ways to come out. One is to kill all the people inside, and the other is to have a magic weapon in hand that can resonate with the outside world, connect it with the magic weapon, and forcibly awaken it. The second method has a prerequisite, which is that the person entering the maze will use spiritual power, otherwise it will be ineffective. Half a month has passed in the blink of an eye, and the injury between them has almost healed. Yu Qinglan still has no trace of awakening. You don't have to worry so much, it's not necessarily a bad thing for her to be inside. Maybe she might even get some chance. Good thing. Xiao Jinggu didn't believe that Yu Qinglan was treating her well inside. They have been here for half a month now, and I don't know what's going on outside. They decided to wait for Yu Qinglan to wake up and rest for a few days before leaving, but Yu Qinglan still has no signs of waking up. Xiao Jinggu picked up Yu Qinglan from the room and asked her to suck in the fresh air outside. Xiao Jinggu saw a butterfly perched on Yu Qinglan's face as he was about to drive it away. A faint spiritual power emanated from Yu Qinglan's body. She has spiritual power now, is this what they call chance? Yu Qinglan has spiritual power now, can he use spiritual energy to awaken her? Xiao Jinggu came to Yu Qinglan's room. If you want Yu Qinglan to wake up, you must find a way to connect with the world inside. But how can we connect with the world inside? After Lin Luya explained his relationship with Yu Qinglan to Xiao Jinggu always followed Yu Qinglan and wanted to be with her. Yu Qinglan looked at Xiao Jinggu behind her with a headache. Xiao Jinggu saw Yu Qinglan stop and followed her to stop. Suddenly, the jade pendant around her waist emitted bursts of light. The powerful light shone on Yu Qinglan, who couldn't open her eyes. Everything in front of her turned into nothingness, and her whole body was quickly shrouded in darkness. All right. Fortunately, Lin Luya gave her a usable spiritual artifact. What's wrong with you? Lin Luya asked as she looked at the shaky Xiao Jinggu. It's okay, maybe I used too much spiritual power just now. Xiao Jinggu is different from other cultivators. Others work hard to obtain spiritual power, and even some people who have been practicing for many years cannot find an entry level. He has a spiritual power from his birth, and this spiritual power is not weak. He also gained the support of the court ministers with this spiritual power. So he is currently the only prince who has been granted the title of king, and also the holder of the Lingwei department. Lingwei Si has been a trusted confidant of emperors since ancient times, and obtaining Lingwei Si is equivalent to obtaining half of the country. But his spiritual power cannot be fully exerted, at most 50% can be exerted, and it cannot be used for more than 3 hours, otherwise his spiritual power will make his body very tired. There was once an old man who said that this was because his body could only bear so much. In the future, when he cultivates strong enough, he can fully control this power. After years of practice, he found that what the old man said was right. In the past, he couldn't even perform twice, but now he can perform 50% under normal circumstances, and the time has gone from less than an hour to about 3 hours now.